Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of the Glass Podcast. I got a couple of small announcements. We're almost done with Mario Kart in the month of March. There'll be one final day tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do for it yet, but then the next 12 days after that are going to be solely dedicated to doing a whole lot of Midwest Speedfest practice. You know the drill with that. It's just kind of going to be the usual thing. And a new series that I'm going to be starting with my friends Mudkip and Cheech is going to be most likely the return of Super Kirby Clash Friday. So if anybody is interested in joining our parties for that on Nintendo Switch, I'll give the opportunity for people to join in on that action. It's going to be very casual, very chill. On Friday nights, I'll probably be having a few beverages, just having a good time. Pure relaxation. Some quick announcements. I'll probably do some more quick announcements at the end of tonight's stream. But in the meantime, I've got a special guest. We've finally gotten to the point where I can have a special guest on the Glass Podcast. You probably know him pretty darn well as a Mario Kart 64 multiplayer specialist. He's also a speedrunner, high-level player in Grand Prix in both skips and no skips for all cuts. He's done quite a few different speedruns that include The Little Mermaid for Sega Genesis, Pilot Wings, and quite a few other very cool speedruns. He's been around for quite a long time, and I am delighted to have him as my first special guest. I'm going to roll the curtain up, give a warm welcome to Hattok. He's here. The man is joining me on episode 3. It is so good to have you, my man. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm glad to be here. I really am.
It's been a long time coming. I've talked about this for many upon many years, and frankly, it's great. It's great that we finally get to shoot the breeze, talk about a whole lot of things, because life's been crazy. I don't know, something.
It's been insane, man. It's been one hell of a just year, and this year's already been crazy, and we've already had so many good times.
It's changed a lot. I mean, that was really the perfect place for me to start because this year has been a roller coaster. A lot of bad things have happened, but a lot of fantastic things have also happened. This year has felt like a full decade, and it's not even been 3 months. We're just barely crossing into April right now. I'm sure you've kept the same sentiment as I do.
I was, as you know, I was out with some friends last night, and we were just recounting just the things that have happened since New Year's, and we're just like, it's felt like a year and a half or longer. It's only been like a few months only. It's crazy, just the stuff, one, that has happened, but two, the really exciting things that are coming up still this year. I can't, there's so many good things to look forward to.
Definitely. I feel the exact same way. I mean, that's what motivates me nowadays is like, once you have a lot more agency, you start looking forward to more things because you can sort of decide. You have a lot more choice as to how you approach your life as you grow older, which is something I never fully appreciated until I was like out of college, and I mean that whole thing.
Honestly, I haven't had that realization until within like a month ago. Honestly, I feel completely different than I did a month ago. It's crazy just how many realizations and new profound just interests, and not even just like new interests, but just like rekindling all of my old interests too. Just like I've had just a flight of ideas and inspiration. It's actually been crazy. Just I don't know if it's if there's something in the air, but honestly, since PA Cartmeet, I have felt really alive. Like seriously, like better than ever.
Everybody's been brainstorming a storm of ideas for like gathering, even if they don't work out, or if they work out, there's just been like a whole lot of like, we should do this, we should do that. I mean, you and I have already talked a lot ever since. Josh has been talking a whole lot. And then Psychedelic Joey is somebody who is also like had a completely different fire, like, ever since attending.
Mm-hmm.
So a whole lot of different people, like, within the local area. Obviously, some people are just like, okay, this was incredibly fun, a memorable experience. It's time to go back to normal life. But the Midwest folks have really been just like, oh snap, this is going to lead into a whole lot of other, like, big and exciting things in the
Oh yeah.
future. Just also that whole, like, you know, that the importance of just being able to keep myself together. You and I both, like, also have been taking that, like, physical wellness very seriously since
Yeah.
the year commenced. We've both been losing weight at a very, very similar rate since.
Seriously, no, yeah, we're actually like neck and neck. I weighed myself just a couple days ago and I hit 159 and I'm like, damn, when was the last time I weighed in the 150s? Sure it's high 150s, but still like I actually had to buy new pants. I bought new pants and I was like, what do I fit in now? And I put on a pair of 30-30s and I haven't had a 30-inch waist since like high school. Like
It's crazy
seriously,
to it's crazy to
I've
think,
not been
yeah.
this yeah, but I've not been this healthy and fit in a lifetime.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of like, I wore the same jeans ever since high school, or most of the same ones, because I
Yeah,
don't
same
wear
here.
mine out very quickly, but I could always feel it with the tighter ones where I'm just like, ooh, I've got that beer gut that's just sticking out right like crazy when I got into my
Hmm.
final years of, like, high school, not high school, but final years of college. I was just like, oh, wow, I've really let this go a little bit too loose.
Yep.
It was getting
Yep.
concerning because I'm just like, do I really want to keep this going? There's going to be some profound consequences if I just don't, like,
Hmm.
look myself in the face. It's funny how, like, certain things motivate you in very strange ways, because at the beginning of the year when I was having a conversation with you and Aria when we were playing card, and I'm just like, I just never know what's going to motivate me to get back into shape, and I'm just like, who would have known that wanting to, like, dress up as an anime girl at a card meet would be the thing that would kick off, like, an actual, like, wellness routine again? Because some people would just be like, I don't care, I'm gonna order the largest size. I'm just like, I took it very seriously because I'm just like, I need to be in character.
Hmm.
Everybody, every, like, VTuber model is very fit looking, as if they, like, get exercise 7 days a week, and,
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
Gigi was no exception. She has a very, like, slender exterior, and I'm just like, I've got a beer gut. I gotta fix that ASAP.
Yep.
I can't go into PA looking like that. It's gonna.
You did a lot of work in just a few months. Like it's crazy, just like how much and how hard you had to work to get to a goal. Within just a few months. Like it's actually like really inspiring because like that takes a lot of motivation and
Mm-hmm.
dedication in a short period of time. Which a lot of people it takes them a long time to even get into a good habit. And you're just like, yeah, I'm all in.
It's crazy
Yeah,
because I
let's
thought I
go.
was gonna falter at some point or another. It's like one thing drops or the other. Like, it's one shoe or the other shoe just, like, drops, and, like, okay, all right, when's this all going to
Yeah.
collapse? Because these are usually just like, oh yeah, the New Year's resolution, BS, where it's just like, let me just lose this many pounds. I'm like jokingly like, I'm gonna have to, like, eat next to nothing in order to get away
Mhm.
with it. But I played really smart with, like, eating. Eating is still really difficult. I got back from PA cart meet, and it's kind of taken some time to reel that back
Mhm.
to normal again. And I'm just like, I get to certain days where, especially going up to PA card meet, I'd get to certain days where I'd just be like, I am really, really, really hungry because I'm exercising a
Mhm.
lot. Where I didn't
Oh yeah,
even,
make my needs fuel.
yeah, where I would get to certain days, I'd be like, I ran 10 miles in a single day, and there were, like, at least half a dozen to a dozen days of those in, like, February, and I was just like, am I going to make it through the night without a snack? Those first few days I did, it was the hardest, like, days. The most difficult days, because I've been so conditioned countless years to just, like, I've got some saltine crackers. I can put some peanut butter on, and then I just, like, I'm like, just 3 or 4 will be fine. half a like 20, like 15 to 20 later, I'm like, oh, I didn't stop.
Right.
You know what that's like.
Especially at the PA meet where there's so much food and like really delicious food. I can I can see why it would be very tough to get back into the normal swing of things.
Yeah. Oh, that's part of also why I had to like.
Ourselves.
Hattok already knows that. Oh yeah, thank you, Rusty. Somebody noticed the Maria shirt. I've had this for a few months now. I've had to like replace a bunch of shirts. Not because I lost weight, but because my other shirts are getting old and are from high
Worn
school.
out.
Yeah, just like my
Yeah.
jeans too. So it's just like coincidental that the exercise and the oh my gosh, we're
Yeah,
not
the
even
rain.
like we're not even
Yeah, right.
we're not even
We got a large
20
rain
minutes
in the
into the
chat.
stream
What's
and
up, everybody?
Abney has rolled in. Oh my gosh, thank you very much for the raid.
Days.
To the
Big
lovely
days.
to the lovely folks from Abney's chat, welcome to the Glass Podcast. I've got
Hey,
my
everybody.
special guest, Hattok, is with me today. We haven't really
Here's-
gotten too deep into the
here's
discussion
your
yet.
hat.
But yeah,
This one's for Beck. We got blue ribbon.
this is, for Beck. How many drinks can I do a cheers to? I mean, we're going to like S2J levels of like cursed number of drinks. I got Dr. Pepper.
Cheers.
I've got water, cheers. I got coffee. I got sparkling water on the
You got
floor.
some coffee. Uh-oh.
I need some
We're
coffee.
already there.
We'll get there. We'll eventually get there. I mean, we already
Yeah.
briefly touched base on like VTubers as like a whole. I honestly, you know what? I can fix that. I can definitely fix that. It's a good thing it's just the beginning of the podcast.
Thank you for
episode.
looking out.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to say that. It's a good thing it's only 5 minutes like into the actual podcast because
Yeah. And I can speak a little louder. Like it's not like that. I am just trying to be a little quieter.
yeah, we're not going too crazy on the audio because I know what my old streams were like when I used to when I first started.
Yeah.
And podcast episodes hit a little bit different. There's this like sort of like metaphorical fireside chat quality to it where you're just like
Yeah,
you don't want to go
exactly.
too crazy. You want to set the tone. You want people to sort of just like be able to do some household chores, shoot the breeze.
hmm
Like,
Yeah,
just
just
a-
listen. Yeah, just have a nice little listen. It's not like my streams where I just blow out the speaker with some EDM or something.
hmm I mean, well, we could definitely do that if I had it my way at level 20
Potential's
on
there.
I had it my way at level 20, I would have been like, yo, we're gonna be blasting the Avalanches mixtapes. People deserve.
I wish that we had more time at that place, even though we like all were there and got there at a good time. Because it like once the karaoke started, it feels like, well, at that point we were already pretty in the bag. So then it starts like time just like slipped away, and then all of a sudden we're like leaving level 20. It's like, damn. I wish we had like another like 7 hours in that place.
You wanted
Although
to
we
you
probably
wanted to
lied.
sing replica. You wanted to sing Sonata Arctica like for 3 hours straight.
I was on something about that goddamn song. That's for real.
I
did
mean,
not let
and
that-
and now it's become a meme that we're going to beat like a dead horse within at least
and
2 to 3 months.
I've been really just like fondly looking back at just like how everybody just like indulged me. Like I'm just like drunk as fuck, like talking some smack, like fucking like going ham on some replica, and then everybody like kind of joined in on it, and I honestly just really warmed my heart. It really did.
I did. People were being surprisingly approachable. I think I would be a little nervous to approach me when I'm double fisting a vodka soda and a mixer. I don't know if I would do that to myself because I have this sort of like whiplash effect where I'm just like, what are you even saying to me?
And see, honestly, normally like you're very controlled, like a controlled drinker, unlike me. Like double fisting is more of like a normal standard for me. Like I already have my second beer lined up, during this podcast. But like you, like we'll we'll have a drink, But like that night, we were in rare form.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, that was the first time in at least 8 or 9 months I'd gotten that badly wasted. And I remember the first time I did it, but there was a big difference between the first time and that time. Is that I
It
had
was
a
huge.
couple of advantages at the wedding that I was at for my cousin, and
Hmm.
you and Josh were in Wisco chat when that was
Hmm.
happening, and I was kind of
Yeah,
typing
I
crazy.
remember I remember that. Yeah, you were gone.
Now that type
I
of
actually what Schlank said in the chat, I actually do not remember that at all. I do not remember that at all. Nor like walking up to Gray and saying thank you for his streams like multiple times, I guess. Because I went into his chat and I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know." And he's like, "Yeah, you." But I must have had like mind wipe because I would just go back and tell him again, and I had no had recollection of that either. And I was like, "Oh, well, just letting you know, I appreciate
everything was
it."
bits and pieces. Like after a certain time, I only remember bits and pieces of like level 20 after I don't know, like 9 or 10 o'clock. Because I remember the initial conversation when we first got there. Um, but I was originally saying my advantage is the last time I got wasted at the wedding is that I had so much food in my stomach, so I had a really good buffer, and I had been extremely well hydrated that time. So I felt
Hmm.
none of the consequences, and
Good.
I had achieved the divine buzz. Y'all, if y'all are at the adult age, like the legal age of 21 or higher, and have experienced it before, you know what the divine buzz is like, and it's this heavenly estate that exists for
Hmm.
like all of an hour or two. If you're lucky, you'll be able to milk it out for a few hours,
Hmm.
but it's extremely difficult to achieve because you either
Yeah, and
like
it's a very fine line between really good buzz, which is what we were having before we went to level 20
yep,
in that brewery slash pizza place, which was really awesome.
yeah, it's great.
I I I was like, "Yo, you need more space." He said, "Yep, there's tons of space in the back when we can open up the patio." But then, yeah, once we got to level 20, then it was over. Because like, well, one, we were still buzzing from that place, but then everyone starts showing up, and we're trying to get everybody acquainted and comfortable and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
And then when Lucera and us started doing shots, then it was game over.
As on top of that, like the more beer that I had, the more beer and alcohol and liquor that I had, I was more of an emotional wreck as the night went on. You could
Me too.
take a sip of beer every time I like gave Lucera a hug because I stopped counting after like
Yeah,
three
I
or
think I need to
four.
get caught up on some of those.
Yeah, because I was just like I was feeling very very strongly about it. Um, yeah, that was important. The drunk that I was at the wedding was like the perfect level, and it had been the longest period of time I was able to sustain a divine buzz. It was from 8 at night all the way until like 3 in the morning, which was ridiculous. So I was like
It
on
was
cloud nine
it was a lot of shots, Brody.
it was way more than we should have had in a single period of
Hmm.
time. Like
Yeah,
it,
I went downstairs to get some Guinness so that Lucere and I could have an Irish car bomb. And
oh
I was drunk and talking to this guy. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys here for?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're here for this Mario Kart tournament. A whole bunch of people are showing up to meet. There's like 30 some people." And I was like basically inviting him and his kid to come out, and Brody like came downstairs. He's like, "Sorry guys, it's not open." It's not. He's like, I was just
yeah.
drunk and just running my mouth, of course.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Is like this sort of event was closed off.
Come
So
on
if
out.
in any other like public tournament, you could get away with that. In an event like Smash and Splash,
Yeah, yeah.
people could still pay for like venue passes the day of. Obviously, they pump the prices up. That's the way that they get you.
Hmm.
But again, with
Yeah,
Brody's
that
event,
is
there was
pretty expensive.
limited space. You couldn't necessarily like crowd out things, and
Hmm.
I mean, Haddock and I were basically I went on a massive tangent, but the point was our drunkenness at level 20 was essentially overkill, even for a person like
It
me.
was way more than we should have, and I was really just trying to um catch up with Lucera because I wasn't able to have any shots with her um before last year. So I was like, all right, we're getting caught up, and I didn't know that she was even coming, and I was just so excited.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, life has been kind of coming at me like a car bomb. That is a bit of a metaphor. So I was getting smashed. I forget a lot of terrible things that were like a lot of bad things that were happening to me at the time, and so like I got to that last half of the night, and honestly, if I plan next year, I mean, I'm stopping myself at like 5 or 6 drinks, and I'm milking those out a long period of time. Like if I'm gonna start, I'm starting at like
Yeah.
6 o'clock, and I'm only doing like a drink per hour, and something. I think I'm just steering away from shots. Maybe I'll do one, but I'm gonna be like that Kendrick in the song "Swimming Pools," where I'm just like, listen to me, Kendrick. I think I'm trying to from that song "Swimming Pools." That whole like
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar album, "Good Kid, Mad City," resonates with me on a very
hmm
strong level. A
you have mentioned it multiple times, and I know. Mm.
Because when you're drunk, there are very literal like a very literal devil and angel on both sides of your shoulder, and the angel's just like, you're gonna pay dearly for this. The devil's just like,
Hey, yep,
yo,
yep,
bro, let's
yep.
go.
that
And the devil won.
It's
The devil won that
that,
night.
that moment of clarity where you're like, "Are we doing this?" And it's like, "Well, I wait. I'm already there." So yes.
I'm there. I can feel the Reaper like right behind me. Um, there was that you
So well, Blue
there.
Blue Oyster Cult said to not fear the Reaper, so
Mm,
let her rip.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we went ham.
Oh, yeah, you got some Culvers. What did you get?
Oh, I got Culver's last night. I'm just reusing the cup. I got like a
Gotcha.
chicken sandwich.
Nice.
Yeah, that a chicken sandwich and fries. That's always been my go-to now. I don't know. It feels a lot
hmm
less heavy. Some of Culver's food does feel a lot heavier. I used to enjoy getting burgers all the time, but as I grow older, I'm like, that burger weighs down on me after I'm done eating it, and I'm just like, I
Absolutely.
feel so
Yeah,
sluggish after now.
yeah. It's like a rock in your stomach. It's pretty rare that I actually get a burger, even from there, unless I'm like, you know what, I haven't had a burger in a long time. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get one,
yeah.
kind of thing. Otherwise, yeah, I do. I also go for the grilled chicken sandwich.
It's
Add some
just
mayo,
it's so
as
much
is, basically.
nicer. It has that same like Culver's taste, but it
hmm
feels a lot more manageable and lighter on me. Where I'm just like,
Big time.
I can manage the day. I'm
Yeah,
I'm glad I've made that decision because frankly,
yeah,
it feels so much better, and it makes me much more look
yeah.
forward to going to Culver's whenever I
hmm
do, which is like maybe now just once a month or once every 2 months
hmm
nowadays.
Good.
Um, we did not go on a single Culver's pit stop when we were taking the road trip over because time was of the essence, and we made the
Yeah,
decision to
we yeah
just.
we left a little bit later than we wanted to because we got up a little bit later because we stayed up way later than we should have,
Yeah, we did.
petting the cats and just like sharing like the excitement for the meet that's about to happen.
I was joking
Because
around
like
with
it's been great every year, and it's just like this one's gonna be so crazy.
I was joking around with Hattok that I'm like, yeah, the Rat Pack is going to be the best part of the kart meet because originally I was just like, not really looking forward to playing Mario Kart. I'm pretty sure everybody in the venue had gotten the same story that I shared with everybody about like the panic attack at Wisco Kart Meet Finals, and just
hmm
that whole
hmm
experience of playing Mario Kart had just become very
Soured after
burdensome,
that.
extremely, which is
And that,
sad
that was
because
that was just kind of like the coup de grace after like all the shortcut stuff and you trying to maintain like fifth place, and then like there's just like a slow decline of your mental status. So honestly, it's been really good to see you play like Frogger and other games because I feel like you are thriving so much more than trying to grind out, point oh ones or, little time saves.
Yeah, I honestly definitely it's hard because Mario Kart 64. as friendly of a community as it is, it has that sort
Mhm.
of the game has that sort of like sunk cost fallacy to it, where
Absolutely.
the toll that it takes if you take it too seriously will just absolutely shatter you. It's
Well,
funny.
it's one of those things where it's like you'll never be satisfied ever.
It was the poorest
You
timing
just
for
have to
me.
go if you're feeling it,
I
then
might
go
have
for it. Absolutely.
I might have still been playing cart more like frequently the rest of that year, like going into next year, which might have made things even worse. But again, it was a very, very poor timing with like my mental anguish during the finals of Wisco Card Meet. It and I didn't really get to rest from it or even get any like standard closure that most people would get when something that traumatic happens because it ended up just getting dragged out into Wisco Cart Invite too. A series that
Yeah,
while
you had
everybody else
a
had
bad time
fun,
with it.
I was in hell. I was in hell during the entirety of Wisco Cart
Yeah,
Invite.
you when you arrived finally, I was like, uh-oh. Aaron's in a really bad mood, which understandable if you miss, you know, some transportation and it's already like a hectic thing to try and get there, get set up, get going, and then those setbacks like that, especially after what had happened, I was just like, damn, you came in hot, but you cooled off after a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
it's understandable. It's just stressful
It
trying to get everything together.
it had a very terrible consequence where like mentally I went through a pretty horrible decline that like behind the scenes anybody who saw it knew that there was something wrong, but I was in denial of it. And everybody else who was like close to me noticed how
Hmm.
poorly I was like faring, and it was one of those things where it's like you had to remove yourself from the game, which is the worst thing you could hear at the time, but
Hmm.
it was like that necessary, painful, like change. So the inflection point was Wisco Card Invite, which unfortunately, it's sad that I mean, the cat's out of the bag. I'm sure I don't even have to say it, but it's being put on a permanent hiatus. Just simply my experience with the last one, the way it ended, and then like how things are financially for me now. It's one of those things that can't be sustained, unfortunately. Which
And that's understandable. I mean, I feel like you know after PA with the Wisco cart meet might start to gain a little traction too. So I feel
I
like
agree,
pouring
yeah.
it all into that makes a lot of sense.
The more energy that we put into Wisco Cart Meet, the better that will be. And really,
Agreed.
honestly, I'd love to bring back the invite, but it has to wait like two
Yeah.
or 3 years before I bring it back
Hmm.
in a meaningful way. Everybody's kind of has to be on good terms with each other if we're all going to gather in the
Yeah.
same place.
It's always been a little tough for us, but I mean, what I really liked about the invite was, the speed run marathon that we basically had as a side.
Yep.
It was like better than I thought. I thought it was like, okay, we're just gonna all play our own, other speed run. I did Star Fox 64 any percent and
Mm-hmm.
The Little Mermaid for Genesis, and I was like, damn, I actually it actually like re-inspired me to start like playing Star Fox 64 high score runs because there's like a league where each month there's like a different route, and you just try to go for the highest score. So I was like really nice to just kind of focus on something else because I also fall into that trap too. Like, man, I would love to speedrun other things, but Mario Kart, and then I just like end up getting, you know, almost like overstimulated with ideas, and then I do none of them.
Yep.
So like
Mario Kart is that
it's like,
game.
oh, I really want to, but I need to get back in the top 100. Oh God, Moo Farm fucking sucks, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, all right,
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna do something else.
It's that thing where the game people there are enthusiastic, but they also have to realize is that normal people will like go through burnout, and if the burnout gets more and more spectacular, then the
Yeah.
people don't stick around the community. And I very well could have been the situation that I was in. I
Yeah.
remember it all came crashing down. I mentioned what happened to Wisco Card Invite and Wisco Card Meet, and then to lose Wisco Card Champ to Aria and lose top five to JCP all in that same time frame.
Hmm.
I
Yeah, it was
was
a
I
big
was
bang boom.
absolutely destroyed, like
Because
mentally.
since like what, a decade ago, Like it's just been you and me basically, which
Hmm.
is cool that there's more people, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I'm kind of washed up.
Yeah, as I know, like for the period to heal, the amount of time it took for things to go bad did not take long. It was like a month. The
Mhm.
period it's been taking to get back to normal has been heavily elongated. It's far from over. It started back in like November when Hattok was like, what's going on? Something's going on with you."
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I was checking in because I was concerned.
he was the first person to notice that something was going on with me. So like the road to PA Cart Me was a very literal like fight against a lot of like demons in general. Because I'm just
Hmm.
like the last 2 years I was looking forward to playing versus, but that was a person who was still enthusiastic, had a lot to look forward to, was determined, and had a lot of fight in him. Going into this one, I was a very sad shell of a man. Like at the beginning, when bro just was trying to get more people, but I was just like only interested in seeing new people and really
Hmm.
nothing else. And the game did not excite me. I still have my reservations, but it's a how I approach like
Hmm.
the game as a whole. I guess that's a reminder I give a lot of people. It's just like Mario Kart's a game that you shouldn't take too serious. It will swallow you whole.
Yeah,
And finding new
yeah,
ways to
it's better.
enjoy
It's better
it.
to just, yeah, just play it and enjoy it for what it is. Honestly, that's why I like, like these multiplayer meets because it's like we just go, we have the time, and then it's over. You can play Kylera, get better, or whatever, but like the experience outside of just playing the game has made it completely transcendental to just a meet anymore.
Yeah,
It's really special to me.
yeah. I would say that in-person experience is unparalleled. I've already shared that as
Yeah.
like somebody who had been to a lot of in-person events for competitive Smash Brothers in the past. And again, that's
Hmm.
one of those things that people deserve to be a part of, because you can always get like the people that are really good that show up, like multiplayer specialists, but it's always been that social experience that I value a lot more. So going into PA, again, I was overweight by like a good 30 pounds, not feeling great, just dogged by regrets, and I was just like, I need to approach this differently. Like a lot of what Josh does in his life, not that I agree with all of it, but there are key things that allow him to just enjoy the experience. I've always I've always had this certain like reservation when he dressed up as Wario the first time, but it gave me a revelation where I'm just like, you get into a different character and you're not necessarily yourself, especially if the true self that you are is like going through a depressive period. You need to be somebody else.
Hmm. Hey, any that those are coping mechanisms that are actually like okay. Like even just in the past what couple of years that I've known Josh, he has constantly just tried to improve himself, and I am really proud of him. And
It's
you're on that
important.
same path too, man. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see you like a bit happier, a bit healthier. Like it's it's inspiring.
You
It
need
really
good
is.
people around you, like at all times, and unfortunately, I don't help my case all the slightest bit because my career field isolates me pretty
Excuse me.
heavily. Yeah, pardon Haddock. He's just that spring fever kicking in a little bit. Like I said before, I wasn't really looking forward to playing the game because I'm just like, Glass is gonna feel that sense of danger that somebody's like gonna throw a controller at him, or it's irrational, but you can't help it when you like haven't really gotten the chance to address it, like move on with it. Those were the biggest
Mhm.
demons because I'm just like, I'm
It
gonna.
makes recovery that much longer.
I was just like, I'm gonna have a
Um,
breakdown in the middle of the event. Things are gonna go wrong. Thankfully, it didn't, but it couldn't. I couldn't help that feeling. That was always just like
mhm.
hovering over me like a shadow, and I'm just like, what if I do what Josh does and just take a character? And
Mhm.
I mean, y'all probably don't all see the importance. Mario Kart is a very closed like community. Everybody's very passionate about that one thing. Doesn't necessarily cross over into a couple other things, but like the way that people sort of like resonate with VTubing as a whole and I was just been sort of swallowed into it as well because there's just such like cutting edge entertainment and unique personalities that come out in ways you could not get out of a person who just like streams in person because you can build up like lore. And Hattok has gotten to hear all about it. I probably ran his brain into the ground in January when I'm just like, yo,
No.
I've got this VTuber I want to dress up as. I wanted to like cross-dress as Gigi Murin, which was something that I got very passionate about because she is basically, if I'm chaotic in person or on stream, she takes it like to like 100.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
That boat gets tinted. It just does. It's
Oh
not
my
just a boat
gosh,
anymore.
it
It's
isn't.
tinted.
Yeah, that highlight is. Oh yeah, what Hattok is referring to is a lot of Gigi's collaborators have been subjected to the meme boat goes Vincent, where she would just say that nonstop, and everybody would just be like, "Oh my god, I can't handle this." And I have my moments like that, but she is basically an extreme version of me, and I'm just like, yo, if I go as this, then I might not even think about the game as Glass. I might think about the game as something else, where you step into a different character and you're just no longer thinking about the game. You're like, I am this person now. It's that same thing as Josh, like, I am Wario, which is why he is the most powerful card player on Saturday. I've always been like, if we played Saturday one day only at a card event, he would win everything. He'd be the number one player in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the like I was hinting at earlier, just that mental refresh of not going as yourself, but going as somebody that, it kind of like almost sidesteps, those negative feelings that you might have towards it, because
Yeah.
then now it's about something else instead of just yourself.
Everybody had no clue, and even Haddock fooled himself into having no clue who I was either.
Yeah,
Which
well, I had just waking up to an anime character shouting at you was probably the only way I was gonna wake up at that point because I was still drunk when we woke up. I'm just like, what happened? I'm just, what the fuck up?
yeah,
I
yep.
snap open to reality. There's an anime girl standing over me, like, where the fuck am I? What is going on? Wait, I'm in Pennsylvania. Why am I wearing different clothes? What
You
the
were
hell? Okay,
asking. Tom was
I'm ready.
asking several questions that morning, and I'm just like, we need to get the hell out of here. Here I
Yeah.
am. This was supposed to be kind of just like a fun morning where I got out. It was a big old like intro to this brand new character that almost nobody knows about. There was maybe, again, to preface, 4 to 5 people knew that GG even existed to begin with.
Yeah, and I had no idea who that was until Glass told me. I was like, okay, this makes sense, and it's a great outfit too. Like, and all the hard work that you put into, getting into shape to wear it too. Just like
Mm-hmm.
you killed it, man. You killed it.
Yeah, thanks. It's awesome. I felt powerful for the first time, and it had nothing to do with cart. It's just always been a very stoic, stone cold sort of person when I play the game most times,
Hmm.
especially in my later years, because you can't fall for that hothead energy that Josh would exude on certain days, because he will like flame you out if he gets the chance to. Not even intentionally, he just does it. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get even with him. I'm going to take him off guard. I was going to take everybody off guard with this. This was a surprise that was so difficult to keep because every time I would talk to you or TMP was the only other person who knew, and TMP was just like base, 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 base. He was like saying that so many times. Every time we'd get closer, I'd just be like, this is crazy. He's just like, I'm excited for you. You're going to kill it. I'm like, and he was right. He was right. It took me a
Did
while
it.
to
Yeah, you did
realize.
it.
Yeah, I did it. And again, not everybody has the same experience. I just have to tell a lot of guys, like, just wait until you dress up as a girl. You might feel like the most powerful person on the planet. I mean, things are a little bit different. Nothing raises your confidence than being called cute. I know you probably don't believe that now, but like, that energy has been something that's been waking me up in the morning. I'm just like,
Yeah. Like
that,
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We're gonna be riding the high of that meet for still a long time yet. Like I was just like ripped up after we got home. Just
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, I feel like a new person. Like I feel like I was just born again mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, definitely.
I'm just glad that it seems like everybody is in agreement that it was an insane time.
Uh-huh. I remember the reactions to when I first dropped in because I'm just like I was mostly just focused. I'm like Brody is gonna be is gonna be frustrated with me because I'm just like this did not work out originally, but eventually it came over, washed over. That I was just like this went extremely well. It took me until the end of the night to realize this went very very well. Like I slowly came to that realization that things were good, but like that eventual realization came in the form of people just like normally would just be like, "Hi, Glass, how are you doing?" That was kind of the way things worked out each morning
Mhm.
at the cart meet last year and previous years.
Mhm. Yeah,
This was a brand
or
new
even just other
experience.
meats in general.
This was a brand
Yeah.
new experience where people were just like, "Wait, who's this? Who's this walking through?" Again,
Hmm.
the first time the Wario like that, Josh caught me off guard with Wario at level 1 barcade in Ohio. This was like taking it to like 100. He took it to 10. I took it to like 100 because Josh, his reaction was so good. He had no clue for 2 hours. He was completely in the dark, and when I talked to him, he was just like, I didn't know if it was you. He's like, "Where's Glass?" I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
and every person had a
Hell
similar
yeah.
reaction where they would just be like, "Oh, I didn't even know it was you." Even in like Discord chat and Twitch chat, it would just be like, "Wait, this is Glass? This is who he is? This person?" I'm like, mm, unlimited. It's
You,
like the
you killed it.
Palpatine
No, you killed it.
unlimited
Yeah.
power. Um,
Unlimited.
imagine
Unlimited anime girl.
Imagine Gigi saying unlimited power, and that's what it was. Because I'm just like, I don't even care how I perform. I am an anime girl at a Mario Kart tournament. I cannot be stopped, even though I lost most of my group stage matches. I did not care. I did not care because
The time was far beyond just us playing Mario Kart. It's nuts. It's
yeah,
nuts.
it
It's like
was.
I a lot of times you go to these things and it's like, all right, see you next time, and that's basically it, and kind of see people around online, but it's like it kind of feels like the meet hasn't ended still because we're still like everyone just like continues to want to collaborate on so many new things,
Yep.
and there's been so many like inspirations for everybody personally
Yep.
that it's just like there was also a tournament, but we also had like probably one of the most um wholesome, like raw times that you can't, like, I just want to bottle up that feeling. It's
Yep.
just like it's like, oh, we all want to like share new speed games. We want to, people are like, yo, I'm gonna go to Wisco Kart meet, and we're like, yes,
Do it,
like
dude. Yeah, definitely.
what just I'm continually just taken aback at just like how great of and authentic of a time we all had. We
Eh,
had a like such an authentic time, then you really can't replace that.
Yeah, honestly, for what it's worth, I wholly agree with that. Everybody got the chance to be themselves. Again, I was nervous this whole time because I'm just like, I know what the public reaction could be to somebody cross dressing, but like nobody had any gripes, which was all I ever
Yeah,
wanted. But like
yeah,
it
of
was
course.
just
So it's one of those things you kind of put yourself out there, hoping for the positivity, but it happened,
yeah, it worked out
and rightfully
well.
so. You put a lot of work in. You put a lot of
Thankfully,
work in.
I didn't have to go out to like any restaurants or anything. I feel bad for Josh sometimes because we would go to bars and people would just like take on like take on more to pot shots at him sometimes. I'm just like, come on, come on. Who cares? Most people in the public are actually really friendly when they see Wario because they're just like, yo, it's Wario. Most normal people are just like,
Right.
it's Wario, let's go. But then there's some people that are like,
Yeah, yeah. He continued, like, if he's out, he just always has people like wanting to take photos with him. Like, oh, it's Wario. I need to get a picture with Wario. especially if like it's like a mom and like her two kids or something like that. People
Yeah.
have actually just stopped and been like, "Can we get a picture with Wario?"
Yep.
And he's all for it.
The two reactions are either like, "Did you lose a bet?" and then the other reaction we prefer is like the "We want to take a picture," which is the one I prefer
Yeah.
to see. I was not going to get that with my cosplay, so I had to, and that's always been like my reservation. But like again, it's always about that certain environment. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the
That's
thing.
awesome.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like what Rusty said, you just need to be in the right environment to pull it off. That is the
Hmm.
most important thing. And
Hmm.
again, I look forward to these small collectives of people that gather together next year. It's even less about like the tournament to me, and more or less these small little micro collectives of people sharing the same interests.
Hmm.
I was like constantly just geeking over like the amount of people that had shared the same interest of like Hololive as me when I went there, finding out that like Rusty was into Fuamoko, and then I already knew about
Hmm.
TMP, but Maple was an unexpected surprise, and like when Maple walked over to me and was asking me about like my Amelia Watson plush that I brought with me because I brought two of them. They got to Ina and Watson got to swap places during the car ride, and Haddock would show off one of them in like one of his highlights when we
Hmm.
were playing the
The avalanches
the avalanches, yeah,
trivia.
yeah. Like I, it felt meaningful, especially knowing that there were multiple people, and I'm just like, this is not just a Mario Kart meetup. This is a small micro like Hololive fan meetup as well, and I'm like, let's get some more people like that who can also play Mario Kart with us. I think that's the biggest way that you approach these events is you get people who already like certain things, and
Yep. Blame Carson.
blame Carson. Hashtag
Yep.
blame
When in
Carson.
doubt. When in doubt, blame Carson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, like I kind of like what I'm still saying, and I'm kind of repeating myself when I say it. Just like we all just indulged each other's interests, and we came out like a whole new community, basically.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I'm just continually just taken aback at just how much everybody was just so happy to share all of these things with each other.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Whole communities came together
Well, that's always
and
been the
came out
thing about
for
it,
one.
especially as like Haddock and I like go back. It's never even been about like kart from the beginning for the two of us. The way that we met was not even through Mario Kart. It's because I wanted to see a Black Midi concert in the Milwaukee area,
Hmm.
and I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, you got time to hang out and eat lunch with me? We found a place called Artisan Ramen, which is in the downtown
Hmm.
area, and
Yeah.
that was it's so much different talking to people in chat in the Mario Kart community on Discord, but talking in person is totally different, and that was an
Hmm.
important
We had a great
initial connection.
conversation.
Mm-hmm. So important because there are certain things you cannot communicate in certain ways on like Discord. Those in-person conversations are very, very important because it really sets distinctions of like certain bad things that happen, and it's like in the community we take certain things too seriously.
It's very easy too. I feel like, you know, kind of like what we've noticed in the past, even just like the past year, especially just like how somebody can say something neutral, but it's like everybody comes in with their claws out. And it's like, you know what? Maybe we just need to step back and remember that we're all humans trying to share an interest with each other.
Yep.
And it's really nice to kind of break through that barrier and just have these times because it's like, oh yeah, like we shouldn't take it that seriously. We're just here for a good time.
We hardly talk about Cart when we hang out. I guess for a lot of people in the
Yeah.
audience, Haddock and I are talking about a million other things that have nothing to do with Cart, especially music. Because if you'll learn anything, is if you get beyond video game soundtracks, there's a ton of dope music out there. Too much good stuff out there to ignore, and we get to talk about it all
So
the
much.
time.
So much.
I'll
Yeah.
walk into Haddock's apartment and he'll be playing a tipper set live, and it'll be going for like 30 to 40 minutes before we pick something else. I'll show an album
Yeah.
in full, and we'll just go back and
Yeah.
forth. Most of the time, it's me. I do hog the music space.
Yeah, we went
Admittedly,
out last night, but we eventually came back and yeah, we did watch a Tipper set, and then we also watched a what the heck is that? Pretty Light set, and it's just mm, So good, so
Hmm.
good.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
on our way into PA, you shared a whole bunch of music with me, like FX and like
Yes.
Gustavo Cerati, and
Yes.
like it was crazy because like us coming into PA, suddenly it's no longer the flatlands of Ohio, but it's like jagged hills with narrow roads,
Oh
and
yeah.
people are like tailgating you like a mother, and we were listening to ska, and
We were
it's
listening
just
to
like it was
Streetlight Manifesto.
chaotic as hell, just like trying to get to the motel, and we're also kind of in a rush too because Brody's waiting on us to go to that brewery before we go to level 20.
Like once we unpacked our stuff, we both agreed like we need an extra day to travel if we're gonna pull this off again, and we need some more
Yeah.
people to rotate with too. I know we could only the two of us were only able to pull this off. There were a lot of things that fell through. Originally, Aria was going to carpool with
Mm.
me, but that just wasn't meant to be, and it was kind of a perfect storm. Like this journey wouldn't have been nearly as memorable if I didn't have like Haddock on the road trip. And it probably would have ended a lot differently. I would have traveled solo, probably. It wouldn't have been nearly as fun. But then Haddock, in a perfect accident that was not good for him, but good for me,
Yeah.
his car got taken out for the count.
Yeah, it sucks, but honestly, not having a car payment or having to like, pay for insurance on a BMW as a guy, like it was a lot of money, and I honestly like I had a lot of fun driving that car, obviously, but
Yeah.
like man, I just all those payments, like I'm honestly kind of glad I don't have that anymore because it's just like, damn, I could have been saving all that cash.
Yep. Well, and then it ended up, I got one of the single best road trips ever. I mean, I remember road trips with like my family and those sorts of things were fun, but like when you have somebody who
Mhm.
likes the same music as you do, a 10-hour trip feels like 5 hours. It goes by in a flash. And I'm just saying, y'all missed out when we were jamming out to the Avalanches, which is a perfect transition into one of the other major topics that I
Yes,
had. Haddock
completely.
is
Okay,
going
that's a
to,
great segue.
yeah, he's going to get a baptism through fire, glass style, because originally when like the meetups were smaller and more contained, we used to do these like music trivia quizzes, which I kind of zoned out because I just never cared much for them. But it inspired me to do something that was even more brutal. Haddock got the Avalanches experience, and I was just like, see how people like use samples for their music? I was talking to him about that, and coming up to the
Mhm.
meet, he and I would be in VC with like Cheech and Wildmaster and a couple other people, and I'd just be like, all right, Tom, I'm gonna put together this whole playlist, and I was talking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna have all these Avalanches mixtapes, and he probably didn't think much of it. I was just like,
I didn't at the time. I was like, okay, it's just like another artist, basically.
yep,
I had no idea that it was going to be that insane.
yep, and just like here's a bunch of mixtapes. I'm gonna give you a notebook and a pencil. This is going to be a sample quiz. Try to take a guess at all the samples that were in this, in each one of them. And the day of judgment has arrived. We're going to go over every single one of Haddock's answers, and most of them are going to be wrong. It's not even going to be remotely close.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because I somehow was able to fill up 2 pages of guesses, but um, if you were to know every single sample that's in these songs
You're a
or
nerd.
these mixes rather,
You're a
it would
nerd.
be it would be it would be like a whole book basically,
You're like a
because some of them
music
will
nerd.
just be one noise and it's just like there it's gone, and it's like, okay, that was a reference to something, and it's like, wait, what? And there's like layers of like 3 different samples happening at the same time to create something new, and I was blown away. I was
Mm-hmm.
blown away by the whole thing. And that actually at some points I forgot that I was playing trivia because we're just fucking giggling like schoolgirls, like going crazy because it's like it would just play something so good. We're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck was that?
Yep, yeah, totally, yeah, yeah. It started out as that sort of like, oh, this is going to be incredibly difficult. I'm like, you'll be lucky to get 5% of all the answers. Like,
Yeah, I did. I was like, I have no idea how I did, but I
And that
guess
was
we're
the
gonna find
initial
out right now.
experience with like the first one that I started off Haddock with when we were exiting like from Indiana into Ohio was the Cornerstone State, a very small, approachable one, not too crazy, just kind of a bit of a tastemaker to get him into the Avalanche's experience. Because if he dived into any of the other sets, it would be like being oversensitized to the ends of the earth. Because an
Mm-hmm.
Avalanche's set can just kind of like zap you into paralysis by just how much these guys are like crate diggers. And that's like the thing with like DJ sets and mixtapes. Everybody has a different approach. With Tipper, it's like you're in this perpetual vibe for like an hour straight and you sort of just get absorbed into it. That's kind of the way that he operates, especially with the more like ambient sets that he does or down tempo sets in
Mm-hmm.
particular. The higher energy
Yeah, those
sets,
down tempo ones.
the higher energy sets, he's more like it's almost like that perpetual state of like jump around. That's kind of what that feels like
Mm-hmm.
when he goes on those
Yeah.
like other ones, you know, like acid mixes or
Mm-hmm.
the kick sets, stuff like that. With the
Mm-hmm.
Avalanches, it is marveling at how much these guys are like music nerds. They are
Big time. There was
crazy.
just deep cut after deep cut. I was like, wow, these guys know their stuff, and they know how to slap it together into something that is just that artesian
Yeah.
level of mixing that you rarely find.
Yeah, so one of the partial titles that Haddock did get right was Cool Water, which is the song is
Yeah.
called Cool Cool Water, but
Ah,
I did not expect him to get the artist name. As you will learn, the Avalanches really like the Beach Boys. They put a lot of Beach Boys samples in it. Oh, it's our fellow
hi Aria.
Wisconsinite Aria. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, the Avalanches love the Beach Boys, and as we get through more of these samples, you'll see that they love the Beach Boys. There's going to be plenty
They
more
do.
inclusions of them. This first set is very difficult. I won't lie. It's a short one, but it's a difficult one nonetheless. So yeah, he got Cool
Hmm.
Water, not the Beach Boys, but he got a point for that.
Yeah.
Um, the ones that he didn't even get to take guesses at because he didn't know that there were different samples were Arthur Lyman, China Clipper, a collaborator of the Beach Boys, Van Dyke Parks with Sweet Trinidad, um, a Jamaican or a Caribbean artist by the name of Lord Hawk with Sharing Neo Rice, Get Up and Get by Lord Kitchener, and then Van Dyke's Park returning with Jack Palance. And by the time we got to Lord Kitchener Cricket Champions, Hag was like, wait, how many samples played?
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. I had no idea how much had even passed at that point. I'm like, oh God, because I would just get stuck on one trying to think of this name, and it'd be like several more have passed within seconds.
so this was his realization of like, oh, this is going to be really difficult. By the time we got to Cricket Champions, and he was just like, what sample are we on right now? I'm like, at least a half a dozen have passed. And he was like,
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah.
ooh.
That realization of just like how deep it was already. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw down what I can when I can. And there was definitely huge gaps where I'm just like, I don't know any of this, and I'm kind of just soaking it all in. And then Daft Punk would come on, and it'd be like, we would just
Yeah, yep.
start yelling in
I
excitement.
knew I was looking forward to those moments specifically because I'm just like, Daft Punk is going to hit and Tom's going to nerd out,
I
which he did.
I love Daft Punk so much. I just love Daft Punk so much. All of their stuff is good.
We will get
There's
to
not a bad album. I was talking with Schlanks actually about Daft Punk, and they said that Human After All is their favorite um, album, and I was like, yeah, I believe it because it's a great one. They're all good. Like I would never rag on somebody because they don't have like oh Discovery it like did dare to like their other stuff too because it's all good.
and
And it just Random Access
we
Memories just
will for a brief amount of
uh,
time later tonight get the chance to talk about Discovery because that's a perfect segue from the Avalanches. But after we're done talking about these samples, because there's plenty of minutes of Avalanches and Daft Punk
yeah,
to
tons.
discuss. Like I said
Eons.
before, Haddock was just like, "Uh oh, we he's gonna have difficulty with these. And just to illustrate how many samples he missed out on, he was trying to figure out what the Highway one was. I'll give him half points for Highway on the Sunshine. The actual name of the song is Ventura Highway by the band America. Same band that made Horse with No Name. Which is,
okay, yeah,
yep,
okay, I know that song.
Yep, yeah, everybody usually knows like Horse with No Name. They'll hear it on the radio. Mom's just like, I'm surprised you haven't heard much of America. I'm like, Mom, I wasn't into folk in the 70s because I wasn't alive in the 70s at the time. So a lot of this was just like very tropical sets and like folk music for the first half of the Cornerstone mix, with stuff like, you know, Where or When by George Savaro and the Orchestra, Confusion by ELO, Andre Kostelanetz, which is a conductor from like the 50s, the Osmonds, Let Me In, the Beach Boys with Hawaii, Fool on the Hill, which neither of us would have known the Beatles were snuck in there. These are like background cuts that just sneak by.
Just like it added something to what was happening, but it's like it's there and gone again.
It's in
a Bilbo Baggins story.
It's hidden in plain sight. It's like in the background. It's there, but there's so many things layered on top of each other. Stuff like Hattok, Guess Love Is Coming to Us All, which is a line from the song Carry On by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, which...
Ooh, CSNY, dang.
Yep. So they were put in there. Again, a couple of things that were missed over, like Frontier Psychiatrist. I'm like, maybe Hattok still remembers, but it's easy to forget that he listens to a lot of music like I do. And the last time we listened to the Avalanches with him was before Wisco Cart Invite 2022, which was like 2.5 years ago. So he didn't remember Frontier Psychiatrist. He did get the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly theme by Ennio Morricone correct. That one he got right. And then he would just be, like, Tom would be floored when the Avalanches pull out these obscure Craig Tigger, like, stuff like Green Eyes by, like, Xavier Cugat, or, like, something as obscure as, like, Warm Up by Ella Adler, which, in all caps, had to put down Jewish aerobics.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yep, yeah, that was from the song Warm Up by Ella Adler. And Ella Adler is like this artist who is just like doing these Jewish aerobics like albums, or like long play records back in the day when they had specific like types of aerobics. You know, not just your normal aerobics, because everybody does it differently, and that was proof enough. And then eventually it just kind of got to the point where Hattok was less so guessing, but more so admiring just kind of everything. Like, he put down DJ Dexter's Six Scratching, which, again, the man was one of the best, like, turntable specialists in the world during the 90s and the early 2000s. There were a few people who were as skilled as him, and you have to hear it to believe it. Like, the way that he was operating on, like, Louis Armstrong and Xavier Cugat, you would forget that those are the actual songs, and it's like becomes a whole new experience in itself.
Big time.
So, like, for right now, Hattok's only gotten like 2.5 points out of like 24.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I didn't get 0, which is actually what I was expecting to get. So.
Yeah, you got a few points because
you could say it's getting pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, I'm very generous. Where it's like if you get one of the two things, like if you get the artist or you get the name right, you get at least 1 or 2 of the points there. Like Go to School was referring to the Four Freshmen song "Swinging on a Star," which like. Nobody knows who the Four Freshmen are. My grandparents might know who the Four Freshmen are. They're that old. They're from the 50s and the 60s, so, you know.
I'm saying it's not even, a lot of this stuff isn't even like current or very well-known stuff from our generation, but it's like they're pulling from like so many different generations that it's like you would really have to have been studying music for a long time to even know
definitely a
lot of these.
Yep. And at this point, it would become repetitive, so I'm going to start speeding up a little bit. But, like, as you get to the end of the set, it becomes less, like, but just admiring just, like, how many obscure things, but also how many well-known things they pull from. Like, Hattok got the Jackson 5 correct, but the song that he guessed was ABC 123 because it sounds very similar to the song I Want You Back.
That's right. Yeah.
As I knew I Want You Back because our pep band played it a lot when I was in high school. And then the first time that like had it got something outright correct was at the end of it when they snuck in Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses at the very end.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a great appetizer for the next sets because those ones when the second one started, I was like, oh, I
Yep.
was like, Glass, you need to send me all of these and everything you have on the Avalanches. Because then it really started to get serious, and I was like, whoa, I need to listen to this and get all of the sweet dopamine out of listening to these mixes.
Yep.
And
And
I
like
still need to. I actually would like to do that still. So
I
I
did
don't
post
remember if you had
the
sent me.
I posted the
Yeah, you
Reddit
sent me the
link.
Reddit.
Then
Yeah,
that
I
has
need I
every
need to I need
single
to download it.
there's like every single one of their mixtapes can be found available on that Reddit page. Some folks did a really good job archiving and keeping tabs on every single like set that they did. And the best part is most of them are free. Like they're that's it's
Hmm.
rare hidden gems on the internet that are just available for anybody to listen to. And we'd highly encourage you to do the same thing if you want to listen to some top tier like mixtapes. I mean, as Haddock
So crazy.
as Haddock
It's like
mentioned before, things got special when we started hitting At Home 2. At Home 2 is when Haddock realized that, like, the powers that we were dealing with here. Like,
yeah, I was not prepared for any of this, like
mm-hmm.
mentally or spiritually, because that shit rocked my world.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you kind of get fooled into thinking it was just going to be a normal experience like Cornerstone Step when Match Point of Our Love by the Beach Boys was still playing. So that was another point that he got. But from here on forward, it became less about the
There's huge
points.
gaps.
Yeah. Like, every moment that, like, and these are all things that would play at the clubs that Haddock likes to go to. And this is where he was just like, oh, these guys are special. Like, when stuff like the KLF, Basement Jacks, Q-Tip, like Aldo Bender and Thomas Bangalter of Phoenix of like Daft Punk are playing, and he's just like,
Yeah,
these guys know what they're doing, you know.
yeah. When Ben Galter comes on, add to cart, add to cart. Like, give me all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and like again, it would just be like these sorts of things would happen, and Haddock's like, oh, they're playing Welcome to the Jungle again because they pulled it off a second time on At Home too, and yeah, like I said,
And it fits. Like it's not. It doesn't feel repetitive because it's here and gone again. It's
yep.
just like it just makes you just geek even harder. It's just like I can't believe they did that again with a different sound like structure completely and made it work in a new different way.
And Lucera would have loved being in the car with us too, because she likes the
Oh
Chemical
yeah.
Brothers, and Star Guitar by Chemical Brothers started playing after the Beach Boys on At Home too. She would have just been like, "Why didn't I know about this group earlier?" I think she would like that too, probably.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, again, these guys were just playing house hit after house hit. 3 a.m. Eternal by the KLF, Light Your Lighter by
Bangers.
Basement Jacks, or even Stop by Q-Tip, and Acid Enlightenment by Aldo Bender, Tracks on the Rocks by Thomas Bangalter, If I Feel Ever Feel Better by Phoenix, M-Sec by Mr. Oizo, um, Nobody Beats BS 2000 by BS 2000, DJ Funk Every Freaking Day, which is, crazy. It's crazy. Aphex Twin with Penti Harmonium, stuff like DJ Zinc, 138 Trek, um, and another one that had it got right, Dr. Dre, Forget About Dre, which spot on,
Yeah.
spot on.
It's just like when they throw in something like that, and it's like there's like here's rock and roll, here's some electronic, and then it's just like forgot about Dre. Like I was like everything's on the menu. Like they don't hold back any genre. It's just like throwing it all in to the blender, and it comes out a fucking perfect meal.
Yep. Yeah, like I was always like kind of skirting the line between focusing on the road, but I'm just like I gotta make sure I don't go too fast. I just eventually just resorted to like cruise control at the speed limit because I'm just like I want to vibe to the avalanches without having to worry about like about worrying about the state patrollers, because I wanted to like vibe with Hattok
Mm-hmm.
when he gets to like experience for the first time the matchup between It Began in Africa by Chemical Brothers and Res Cowgirl by Underworld, which is just like it's like being on a dance floor
Yeah,
in the
that
2000s.
we were
Crazy.
bouncing like so hard in your car. I actually like broke a sweat multiple times.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
and just like holy shit, man, this is so good. We're just fucking
And it
it's
never
going.
ended, and
We're going.
the
We're going,
excitement
and,
would
I'm
always
just like shit. I should be
continue
writing things down.
as we
But we're
get
like dancing so hard in the car, and I would grab the detective, and then I just had like the dancing, and
yeah,
I posted that I think, in one of the in one of the videos. It's just,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
was so good.
Oh,
We
crazy.
jammed. We,
Absolutely crazy. Because we'd get to things like where we both recognize the song and it would just be like a freak out sort of thing. Where like earlier in At Home 2, Haddock was like, "Is that Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott?" And I was smiling because he didn't know that it was actually going to hit later. And then you'd have the, in all caps, ah, because it was just that sort of like, you guessed it, but it was at the wrong part.
yeah, yeah.
Because Get Your Freak
Yeah,
On,
you said yeah, just wait until later.
because he would get like taken off guard with like stuff like that, and like he got Tonight by MC5 correct, and it just that latter half, it was just like that crazy like, oh my gosh, these are hard hitters, where it would just be like, is that
Mhm.
Destiny's Child with Jumpin', which you got that right on,
Yeah,
spot on.
that's because back like elementary and middle school times, I would go to Skateland, and in that era, they would play that a lot.
Yeah.
While you're
Mm-hmm.
just black light roller skating at the rink.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's stuff like that, and then like the real Slim Shady by Eminem would kick in. It'd just be like these guys know how to please the crowd. Still, they don't just play all the obscure stuff. They put in these
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It's not quite all obscure like oldie stuff. It's just like new, old, new, old, new, old, and it's just mm,
yeah,
it was something else.
you'd
It
get
really
something
was.
like that, or um, where had it got close to getting another Missy Elliott song. 1 Minute Man by Missy Elliott was on there. That was the close guess of Wake Me Up, Show Me What You Got. Or like I Want to Break Free by Queen kicked in, and Haddock's like, how did they get away with that?
Yeah, yeah. That they had no right. They had no right to throw down a nasty like that. I was not prepared.
Or in that same way that they snuck in I Can't Go For That by Hall and Oates, where it's just like, you're just like, wait, but like Daft Punk's Oh Yeah was playing earlier. And I'm like, yep,
Yeah,
this is the
just
Avalanches for you.
all in oats, man. Like I whenever I'd be like bored at work or something and I had like a few minutes, I would call the number call a notes, and you have a selection to play one of three songs
Oh,
of
no
theirs
kidding.
basically. And
Yeah.
it'll just play it. It'll play it through the phone, and then it'll hang up after
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had a free minute, I just like I'm at work, so I can't like be listening to music, but I can be on a phone call, you know, and it'll just play the song at you.
Yeah, at this point, it was less about like the stuff that they got that had it got right, but just the things that the Avalanches could get away with. Which
Mhm.
there's two left. Um, I'll get through the last few mixtapes, and then eventually we'll
Yep.
just take a small break to walk around and then finish the rest of this podcast because we're at
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
halftime. But yeah, we got to Big Ten set, and like if Haddock wasn't on board after At Home 2, Big Ten set hooked him. Like this is the type of stuff that Haddock
Uh,
strives for.
yeah. Yeah, I did one dude. Big Ten too. Fuck, dude. I like. I wish I could have been there. I'm just like reminiscing for a time that never happened for me. Just like that. Like, if I saw the Avalanches like throw down a set like that, I would just like walk out an entirely different person.
Mm-hmm.
That's like how good it is. It's just there's no right to be that good.
It's crazy, like how talented these guys are at like this sort of stuff. Because the Big Ten set is where you get a lot of popular songs, also just kicking in. But it's like one of the single greatest live sets that the band has ever done. At Big Ten set has like kicks off with the KLF, And just because they can get away with it, they go right into the Sound of Music theme, like at the beginning.
Oh, when that came on, and it was just like, the hills are alive with the sound of music, and it's like, that was a jaw dropper for me because I was like, you fucking what?
It's like that. They can't keep on getting away with it.
Yeah, yeah, and they just continue to do it. I was just like, they can't do this. Why do you do me like that?
And just when
And
you
make it
had,
so perfect.
and just when you had enough, they pull the rug right under you after a few seconds of the Sound of Music and roll right into Crazy by Gnarls Barkley and Frontier Psychiatrist.
Dude, okay. After this, I'm definitely like gonna download them and I listen to them tomorrow because like I'm overdue. And now that we're talking about it, I'm just like reliving those moments of just like, damn, what the fuck was that? That was so good.
And the
Dude.
way
How
that they
did
would
do
just
it?
like naturally like push from song to song when they went from that to like Walk the Night by Scat Bros, I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister right afterwards. They were killing it every single minute. Big Ten Set is one of those like
Mm,
if you want to
mm,
become a like if you
mm.
want to become a DJ, study the Big Ten Set.
You Yeah, yeah, do some homework and like listen to how mixing can really be done.
The importance of transitions on songs. It can't just be sudden. Try to be as
Hmm.
natural as
You
possible.
gotta ease into it. Yeah,
Set a
you
set
can't
a
just go
theme.
all helter skelter.
These sort of like little subtleties that they would just kind of mix in. You can do sudden moments every now and then, but it needs to be that like memorable shock value that you get out of
Yeah,
it in
right.
order
Yeah,
for it to be
when you
effective.
use, yeah, you don't want to overuse it. You want to use it with the power to be like, whoa, what the hell is that now?
Like
Right.
how,
Otherwise, it could be jarring.
and if you're gonna do it with Daft Punk music because every time a Daft Punk song will play, Hattok would just be like ah, and I would just be like,
Yeah, I would start shouting, just like we're still like breaking a sweat, dancing in a car, just like
at
jamming, and then Daft Punk comes on, and I'm just like, ah.
all these mixtapes made me immediately forget that we were still in the hell that is Ohio. Like it was that good. Because like Defunct kicked it, and I'm just like, yeah, now we're in business, and like there was the Justice remix of Human After All by Daft Punk, which I'm just like Justice and Daft Punk playing at the exact same time, like
And you know you know what's crazy is just how perfect that is because Justice is basically the new Daft Punk now, and Justice is playing at Bonnaroo, so I'm definitely gonna be seeing them, and
that. Yeah,
I
that's
can't wait, man. Can't
absolutely
wait.
dope. Isn't Bonnaroo like mid July this year? I think it's like the 14th and the
Mid
15th.
June,
Yeah,
mid June of
14th,
each year.
15th, 16th,
It's
I
like,
think. Yeah.
yep, it's right around my birthday every year.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
this year my birthday, which is on June 17th, we'll be back already beforehand. But I mean, we're celebrating my birthday when we're at Bonnaroo. Like that's just
I gotta
it's just
crack a beer on your behalf when the day arrives. I gotta be sure to do that. Yeah,
here's that.
yeah, because frankly, I mean, like play an Avalanche set or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we should just like do like a birthday like voice chat with a couple of folks and play some Avalanches in the voice chat. Like find a way to do
Yes,
it.
please.
We should do
Yes,
that.
please. All we need is literally just one of those music bots.
Yeah. It might be difficult because the Avalanche sets are so much more obscure, harder to find. We'll
Hmm.
find a way to play it. I
I
guess
mean,
the point
if
is,
we can well, true. If we can just download it, we could probably just play it through, you know, something, and then just cast it to the VC.
before we take our first break, I just want to just appreciate just the incredible like transitions on some of these, like going from like Def Leppard to like Wet and Wild to Raspberry Beret by Prince. Or like things like going from Ashes to Ashes by David Bowie to Sometimes by My Bloody Valentine to Daft Punk right after.
Ah,
Like when One More Time hit, we were both the car was physically
dude,
balancing.
we almost rocked your car off the road. We were bouncing so hard.
Yeah.
When,
I was
when that
like
came on, I thought the car was gonna take off, and we were gonna go plane mode until we hit PA.
yeah, honestly, I felt like the car was gonna be caked in like sweat up and down the seats because we were just like burning calories just banging out to these like amazing bangers, stuff like.
Yeah, I need more. I need more of it. It's that good. It's that good.
And
Like I
I
go out and I see mixes, and that is way tippy top better than anything I've ever seen live for sure. And if I would see something like that live, it would be life changing.
I would, if I had the chance to pick up like more DJ equipment, and that's when I have money, I would love to do banger DJ sets like that. Like
DJ
in a
Glass,
style,
he's gonna shatter that fucking floor, man.
like in a style similar to the Avalanches, because they're like my favorite like type of. They're my favorite DJs, hands down.
Definitely something to strive for, without a doubt. Like if that's the standard, that standard is very high. That bar is very high. But if you once you cross that barrier, you're making something so transcendental.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to get away with transitions like going from Franz Ferdinand to Salt and Peppa to like Raise Your Hands by Bon Jovi to like Mother's Talk by Tears for Fears, which I did not know they snuck that in. I was just like, what? And Around the World right after, I'm like, Tears for Fears on top of Daft Punk? Genius.
Right. Yeah,
Literal genius.
Insane.
Yeah. And then when Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi kicked in, we were both just like singing along. We forgot that it was a mixtape. It was just like...
Yeah.
And Some People was the great way to end that mixtape hour. We couldn't go forever because we were going to overheat. Like, that's how good these sets are.
And we expended a lot of energy just listening and dancing and just geeking out about all that music. That it was nice because then we transitioned to listening to some other things like
heavy metal music.
Susumu Hirasawa.
Oh yeah. You remembered it. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, Techniques of a Relief.
I was just like, what is this? It's like, yeah, the Berserk original soundtrack. Add to cart.
Like, same guy that made the Berserk OST. We listened to one of my favorite albums of his in Pennsylvania. I showed off some K-pop, and FX is like some of the best K-pop out there.
Yeah, you played Kick, Step, and Airplane.
Yeah, that string of songs is like, if I ever got married and I had a wedding, FX would be on there at some point or another. That's the stuff that gets you on the dance floor, which gives me an idea. Before we get into our break and we nerd out to Daft Punk right afterwards, an idea I had, because the karaoke was a cool idea, but what if we cleared some space in the upstairs room and we also had like a bit of a small dance floor, like when people are doing karaoke?
Yes. That would be perfect because there is enough space and there's not like a ton of tables. Like you would really only have to take out like one of the tables to have like a little dance floor. Like there was a space like next to the stage where like where people were singing, but like I would get down like.
Because like
I dance like it just happens when we're fucking jamming like that. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna have a good time. I was literally like listening to disco at dinner last night, and we're just like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Rod Stewart, and
that's what I was
Bee
thinking.
Gees, we're just
because I'm thinking
going so hard.
Karaoke was a great idea, and I remember countless like high school dances where I'm just like, this would be a lot of fun, but I need a lot of people that I care about being around and I like because when I did like the boat dance session at the end of like my band trip in New York City, that was a lot of fun. That similar concept, but at level 20 on Friday night, with people getting the chance to sing karaoke, and just that sort of roulette of not like expecting a consistent style of songs, just that combined karaoke dance like time at the like latter half of the night.
Especially like next time too. The ice has been broken for a lot of people, so it's like it's just gonna be. And I don't want to jinx it, but it's going to be an even crazier time next year. Like can't wait. I can't wait to go back. I really can't.
Hattok and I have been having a lot of fluid, so we're going to be taking a bit of a short break. But for those of you who like some Daft Punk afterwards, I want to shoot the breeze and indulge just talking about how much we love Discovery. So if you want to hear more about cards, more about a little bit more music, and a few other topics, the two of us will be back.
We got other stuff to do.
We'll be right back in about 5 to 10 minutes. So
I don't need a lot of time. So you just let me know when.
Yeah. So yeah, folks, we will be right back. Stay tuned. We got more of the Glass
See you
podcast with Hattok coming up shortly.
soon.
Welcome back, everybody. Returning to the second half of our of the Glass podcast. Once again, for those of you who are just joining in right now, like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, my special guest, first special guest for this one is Hattok. As I said before, I couldn't have picked a better person to lead in as like the introductory like guest for this, because we'll have plenty of more special guests as this podcast grows. But this is like,
Hell yeah.
Hattok knows how to talk the talk. We've talked the talk so much. Doing it on stream is equally as fun because we get to
Yeah, it's this is basically just like a normal conversation for Glass and I, basically.
absolutely.
Yeah, but we're just doing it on stream. That's why like this is just like very natural for us to be doing.
Yep. And so before I kind of just like go full swing into Daft Punk, I'll acknowledge we had some followers. You know, Abney's Raid, as always, helps bring a couple new people to my
Big
channel,
thank you for the raid.
where I do, you know, a couple people. We appreciate the raid, definitely, because
Yeah.
these sorts of podcasts I think are important for the Mario Kart community. Something a little bit more chill. And of course, Niek Beats and Square for Hire VA, we appreciate the follows. You two have joined the Glass Cabinet. It's a chill group of people. And of course, if you guys like what's going on here and you want to keep up with other things that are, you know, going on in my stream life, I got a place. It's called the Glass Cord.
Discord.
It's my Discord server. It's a really low key group of people. We're all pretty quiet, but it's just nothing but good vibes in there. I post announcements about my streams, what's coming up. You get to communicate with me directly.
And you have new emotes.
We have new emotes. Yeah, that's right. If you're not subscribed to my Twitch channel, which is completely okay, you can experience those emotes for free in that Glass Cord. I mean, if that gives incentive to join, I mean, let it at least be that. Or just having some personal time with yours truly, you know, learning about my interests and GG and Kana Day, the stupid yellow thing. The everyone's favorite music girl who talks about needing coffee and not going to birthday parties. We'll get to that later. As promised, we're going to talk about an album that is downright lovely and one of the most joyous records out there in like EDM, dance, pop music. I've been looking to talk to somebody, shoot the breeze about the amazing Perfect Dance album from 2001, Discovery by Daft Punk, because it's a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Yeah, I had no idea who Daft Punk was until this is 2003. It was the year that the family that I grew up with got a computer. We got dial-up internet.
Yep, I remember dial-up pretty darn well. You and I, we might be a handful of years older than each other, but we both grew up in that same period. You were at like the beginning of it, whereas I was at the tail end. My dad worked IT, worked a lot of like databases back in the day because, you know, math teachers
we were talking about that.
Where it's like
at your parents' place.
Yeah, for those of you who were just in that, like most of you Zoomers missed out on it. And be glad you missed out on it, because I was at the tail end where if your grandma wanted to make a call to your mom and dad, you could not be connected to the internet. You had to sacrifice it. And to connect with Wi-Fi, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds. Dial-up takes 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. And then once you're on, you know, if you're trying to download a song, let's say you're just trying to download one single song, you know, of the Discovery album, you know, it would take like 3 hours, 4 hours to get one song downloaded. Just one.
If you wanted a single JPEG,
and you hope it wasn't a virus.
If you wanted a single JPEG, it would take as long to download as it takes a singular song to download nowadays. Like,
yeah, it's like, you know, a JPEG, it would just load one, like kind of like scan lines, just like one line at a time, just like doop, doop, doop. It's like
10 seconds later, you got to see the full image, but because of like the limitations on like quality, it would usually show up like 32-bit only gave you so many colors. We are spoiled by like HD quality. We're spoiled by streaming
Hmm.
services. It
Yep.
was
I'm
it
sitting here
was
with three monitors, and then I wouldn't have ever conceived, having more than one CRT monitor
Yep.
for a computer.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I've always just been like, if Child Me knew that you could have multiple monitors in the same in the same vicinity for one computer, his brain would have exploded. I mean, it was a
Yeah,
wild
it's
west
crazy
back in
where
the
we are
day.
now.
For like Hattok and Vansky, the Napster, and for my time, it would have been like I was on the edge of like LimeWire, and when like torrent started like taking
Yeah,
over.
Kazaa Lite were like my go-tos.
Yep. And you would discover a lot of music, sometimes not even necessarily the music that it was titled after. Some people would
Yep.
play some clever pranks, but that's also the same way that like the experience of like Daft Punk's discovery got shared. Especially Daft Punk music. It's very internety. Like it has that sort of
Hmm.
vibe to it. And
Yeah,
it was.
old internet was a lot more fun than
Mm-hmm.
current internet. It was the Wild West. It was like so much, like just being connected wasn't just a normal thing. It was like wow, like there's a lot of the world that we're just not experiencing.
Everything had weight and meaning to
And
it.
yeah, right, yeah, it was new and exciting. And so at the time after we got dial-up internet, I found somebody this is high school. This is like freshman year.
Hmm.
Um, Somebody had been like, "Hey, have you ever seen newgrounds.com?" I'm like,
Oh
"No,
yeah.
I've never seen that. I'll go home and dial up and check it out." And on the front page was a Newgrounds like flash animation, and it was like a sprite animation of River City Ransom for the NES. It's kind of like a beat 'em up kind of style game,
Yeah, kind of
and but it
similar
was
to like Jackie Chan Adventures. Similar
yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, actually. And what it was it was actually like a music video, sprite animated, of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk, and that's
Mm.
how I heard Daft Punk for the very first time, and it blew my mind. I listened to it on repeat for weeks, before I even checked out the rest of the album because downloading just takes forever. So I was just
Yep.
like, I was stuck on that one song for a long time, and then
Yeah.
yeah, then I eventually got the album.
Yeah, because I can remember like my first exposure to Daft Punk was not even necessarily through Daft Punk directly, but because when I was
Hmm.
in middle school and like late elementary school, Kanye West was still, very popular and had not completely cannonballed his reputation into the ground. And he had been the biggest thing during like graduation with Stronger, and Daft Punk was sampled in that, and they did it left an impact because I didn't that seed was planted in my mind very early on with the Grammy Awards live performance of Stronger by Kanye West with Daft Punk in the background, and that was one of their single best like Grammy performances ever. It left an impact, and I was just like, I'm gonna keep track of these guys if I ever remember them in the future. You know, about a decade later, um, I'd always known Daft Punk were fun dance music, and in 2017, I decided I'm like, look, there's a Daft Punk's got that reputation as being one of the best. I eventually decided, and it was not in a great place because I switched degrees in college, and I was very, very sad, not feeling it, and Daft Punk's
At least you
discovery,
realized.
like,
At least you realized.
it came at a very important time in my life where I needed a joyous album when things were going poorly. And as Haddock knows,
I feel
I
that.
do music lists, and I usually
Oh,
like,
boy, do you.
yep,
I can't believe you, me, and Josh went through like your all-time list of like a
songs.
thousand songs.
Yeah, so it's loaded to the teeth. It's packed to the teeth with some of the best songs ever made. Obviously, I feel that way because it's my list. Um,
Hmm.
to summarize, I've done these lists ever since I was at the end of elementary school. I started them way back in 2007, and the first list only had 5 albums that I listened to that year. But it was enough that it took off, and I just kept on doing it, and it challenged me to discover new stuff. And well, as it happens, my pick for the best album I listened to in 2017 was Discovery by Daft Punk. And I think the best way to summarize it is it came at the right time. You know, out of all the albums I had listened to, and it was pretty packed in the top 5. You know, Mad Villainy by MF Doom and Madlib, and The Epic by Kamasi Washington. It was no small slouch, that top 5, but again, Daft Punk is pure joy distilled. It's distilled into just this one of the most natural flows that supersedes even the best like mixtapes or, you know, in a studio package, no less. You're getting spoiled downright, you know, going from song to song. One More Time is like the dance song of our generation. It's
what a way to start an album too. Like I'm getting chills just thinking about just listening to that song.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
One More Time was like, you know, in college, and you know, after maybe all the way up until like 2011. One More Time was kind of like our house party anthem.
Yeah.
We're like at some point we're gonna be playing that song, and we're all gonna vibe so hard to it.
Honestly, if I could, I mean, One More Time would be the last song we play at Level 20 next year. That would be like a perfect way to end the night. I mean,
I might cry.
Yeah.
I'll cry if we do that. I'm gonna probably cry.
I'd make a request
No
because
way.
it's one of those things where like not just one person could karaoke, everybody could sing along together. Like the dance floor would be loaded.
I would be vibing hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can already picture it in my mind. It's crazy to think. And the fact that they bravely go, not just from that, they go right into Aerodynamic. What a cool transition. You know, you hear the da, bang. You're like, I know. I when I heard the beginning of Aerodynamic, I knew it was going to be a perfect album. I was just like,
Yeah. The transitions too, how it goes from one to the next is like, oh, this is not just an album. This is going to be something
experience.
really special.
Yeah, it was. The way that they transition each of the tracks. Aerodynamic is a perfect exercise of just the understanding of like arpeggiation. Each of our masked beings, the robot's ability to work the keyboards. Like that track is a great showcase, and if it wasn't going to be that, it's one of the later tracks that we'll get to, because talking in order is a perfect way to set the pace. And I mean, if you want the maximum experience with this album, watch the movie with it too. The associated movie with the album Discovery by Daft Punk is
Interstellar 5555.
Yes. Y'all need to watch Interstellar 555. It's amazing.
They had it in theaters actually recently, but it was like AI upscaled. And
Oh,
it was like kind of
yeah. I remember the controversy.
a
with
lot
that.
of people were like, it could have been great if they just would have like even just had just the regular movie, but the AI upscaling actually took away from the experience.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
So it was a miss for me, because I was like, okay, I don't want to go in and be disappointed in something that is like so special to home.
Yeah, I agree. I wholly agree with that. I mean, honestly, even just the YouTube, it's available on YouTube, so y'all don't have an excuse to at least check it out. It's a story in itself. Yeah, like it's a story in its own right, because the way that they go from Aerodynamic into, I think the next track after that is
Digital Love.
Oh, that's right. It is Digital Love. They put it in before Harder, Better, Faster.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think those two feel interchangeable, even though they're not. And it's important
Right.
because
Yeah, I always distinctly remember Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, because it's 4 words and it's the 4th track. So that's always like
that's
my
funny.
memory.
Yep, you're right. Now that you mention it. And Digital Love is the single best showcase of the band, like the robot's ability to work the keyboards. The keyboard solos at the end of Digital Love is just like,
Honestly, after we're done here, I'm gonna listen to this album again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the keyboard solo at the latter half of like Digital Love is like sex to the ears. It is,
Hmm.
it's crazy.
It's literally digital love. It's digital love, man.
No
It
pun
it really
intended.
is.
It really, really
Seriously, like
is.
they encapsulate it
Uh huh. They do.
artistically.
One of my favorite tracks on the album. It is just so serene, and you feel like you're on another like plane of existence when you listen to it. It's that good. And then they pull you right back into reality with harder, better, faster, stronger. Which the first time I heard that sampling of it was on Stronger by Kanye West, and then I heard the original. I'm just like,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
The sample flip
Because
that Kanye West did for it is good, but the original is so much stronger.
right, like it's kind of weird because like for some people, you're saying like that was like your first taste of Daft Punk, and then some people might be like Starboy, like that
Yep.
might be someone's introduction. They're like, whoa, I've been missing out on some great shit.
Yeah, it's funny how like a lot of the best performances at the Grammys were always like Daft Punk or Daft Punk adjacent because Get Lucky with all the guest
Yes,
performances is like
yes,
once again.
yes. Oh my god.
I will talk briefly about like random access memories after Discovery because there are some crucial moments on that album that makes it my clear second favorite. Um,
Yeah, yeah, tons, yeah, tons. And I was just talking about the extended version that has some of their unreleased stuff,
mhm.
and yeah,
We yeah
it's so good.
on
It's
the
so good.
on the drive over to Ohio, the first time I met Wamaster, Haddock and I were appreciating like the unreleased tracks on the way over because they're just as good. It's just the only problem was like finding a reasonable position on random access memories because they just don't fit into like the ebb and flow of the studio album. You know, these guys are perfectionists when it comes to putting out their albums. Whether I like
Truly.
them or love them, that's like always the through line with every single one of their projects.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of perfect flow, I mean, going from better, stronger, faster. I never get it right, but that
Harder,
track
better, faster,
into
stronger.
into I believe it would be crescendos. I think it's crescendos.
Crescendos. Yeah,
What
it's
a
definitely crescendo.
what a banger! What a banger! And just like
Yeah, it is. It's otherworldly. Like when it actually gets to crescendos, I'm usually just like, fuck.
mhm. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's like I can't get any happier listening to this and that. It just it ties it together so well.
it does. I mean, that line of tracks going into like the transition, night hour or something like that into like going right into superheroes. Superheroes has got a unique sample flip because the original is like a rock song. The way they put it
Hmm.
in, it turns it into a house banger, like
Yep,
of the
yep, hell yeah,
highest
house
degree.
banger.
With the
But don't forget about Night Vision.
that, yeah, night
Night
vision.
Vision.
That's what I was
Night Vision
referring to
comes
is
after
the
crescendos.
transition. Yeah, yeah. Like
Mm,
again, superheroes is a house banger. They've got that pumping bass drum in the background. It just builds up,
so good.
especially in context to the film where like the alien friends are rescuing their bandmates from something. I can't exactly remember what, but it's in there. Um,
Hmm.
and then I do not remember the track in between that one and something about us.
It's High Life.
High Life, yeah, that's right. Thank you, thank you. I
High
always
Life,
forget
High
the
Life,
name of
and
that
then
one.
yep,
Uh,
and then it circles back to with something about us, which
something about us is like
that that's it gets me in my feels every time
it
when I
hits
hear something
hard.
about.
It's like it's kind of in that same experience as like discovering that you're like in love with somebody. It has that same effect where you're just like the first
Give
time
me
you
chills.
stare at somebody, where you're just like you get like shivers, goosebumps, and it's just like this meant something.
Yeah, there really is something about us. It just every time, dude. Like I just want to start crying right now.
It hits that inflection point, and Daft Punk will not let you boil in that emotion for very long because they eventually pull you right
Yeah.
into. Oh, I can't even remember the name of the next track.
Voyager comes
Voyager,
back.
yeah, Voyager, yeah. Which is a
Like,
great way to pull back into reality. Hattock's bringing in the bucket hat. He's swooping in. He's got the hat.
I mean, at this point, we might as well just fucking
Yeah, we gotta, we
bring
gotta
it.
do it.
I had the Kirby primed with it, but I mean, we're talking about Daft Punk, and I'm like, all right, it's hat time.
He's in his bucket right now. He's in his bucket hat, and I mean, he got the Kirby plush. My plush row is like right behind me.
Yep.
At some point, I might try
Yep,
to
we
like
got
get
them all
a
lined up.
like a raised shelf. Two of them were at the
Yeah, you
event.
should. Yeah, you get the Sleepy Time Kirby too.
Mm-hmm. I remember the first time like Josh got that for me at the end of last year's event, and it was just like I remember saying something really funny like "My son is real" or something along those lines when he first got it for me because I already had one sleeping Kirby, and then I'm like, I get a second one.
Number two.
Life is
Let's go.
complete. I could. There's no better. There's no further peaks. I mean, I said that as if PA Kart Me 2025 wasn't going to happen. The second half of Daft Punk takes some time to appreciate. This album, I knew it was perfect, but like the second half of the album takes several like repeat listens to appreciate just like how it
Yes.
ends because that first half is like all the strongest songs are in the first half of
It
that.
pumps you up, and then it tapers off. Like, usually like Veritas Quo, when it's just the da 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 da, just like it lulls you back into this serenity.
Yep. Yep. And then they do a they take they take the rug, they swipe the rug right underneath you with the following
underneath
track.
you.
Yep. With
Yeah,
the next
then
one.
you begin to short circuit.
Yep. Short Circuit's got that. The way that they kick into it is like, it has that stereotypical like acid house quality, but like only in a way that Daft Punk could pull it off.
Yeah,
On an
yeah.
album of
They
theirs.
lull you in and then they kick you right in the fucking teeth.
They do not let you. They do not let you in too secure for very long. But thankfully, they do not kick you too hard on the next track. Face to Face is a great transition out of Short Circuit. It's just got so many unusual samples on there. I like the vocal inclusions from, I think, Romy. I don't exactly remember who, but the person that they pulled for the vocal samples throughout all of it is a fantastic choice. A very pop-esque choice, but a pop-esque choice that feels very robotic and in line with the style that Daft Punk has always done for years and years and years. It's easy to forget that you're like near the end of the album by the time you get to Face, because as soon as they kick into Too Long, you're on the dance floor for like 10 minutes straight. It's just like, just goes and goes.
Yeah.
And they get away with a 10-minute song.
Yeah, they end with a incredibly like more than double the length of like the next longest track almost.
Yeah.
Because Veritas Quo is like not even 6 minutes, and then it's just like a couple shorties to get you back acquainted, and then Too Long to finish it out.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
it doesn't feel too long because it's just like that's it.
Yeah, that's
time
that.
to start it again.
Wind down, like you get to one more time again, and you're just like, okay, one more time, and then it's 4 in the morning, and you're only on like 2 hours of sleep by the end.
It's always one more time. One more time.
My perfect encapsulation of like why I chose it as my favorite album I listened to in 2017 is it is the most purest and like joyous experience you could possibly get out of any pop or electronic dance album without any blemishes whatsoever in its full product together.
It was very impressionable on me, in my teenage years, just like holy fuck. And as I got out of high school, and I was like, I can't wait to go to a Daft Punk concert, not knowing that 2007 would be like the last
major tour that they did.
Like the last, was it the Alive?
They did
set
they did their guest performance with Phoenix. Like Phoenix was their guest performance at like Madison Square Garden, which I mean, one heck of a way to end any like public performances that they did that were available to purchase.
And when Random Access Memories came out, I was like, yes, okay, new album. They're gonna go on tour, right?
Yeah,
And that video came out where they just explode, and I'm like,
that.
it broke my heart. Not gonna lie, it broke my heart to
Hmm.
see and understand that I'm never gonna be able to see Daft Punk live. Like it
Yeah,
really fucked me up because I was like,
yeah.
I can't believe it.
The only thing that comes close to that same sort of like reminder that like things only last for so long is like the Wisco Car crew is still like definitely got the most important parts of the whole together. Again, as long as like Haddock, Josh, Mr. Ponytail, and I, like the classic four, are always together, the Wisco Car crew will never
We
fully
gotta,
die.
yeah, yeah. We're out back on the upswing. Like seriously, I've said this multiple times to you, personally and publicly. Like 2025 is our year, and so far it's been stacking up. And
Yep.
with Midwest Speed Fest coming up, like I'm so excited. I feel like there's so many good things that we're about to experience. Like
Yes.
literally less than 2 weeks now, and then
Yep.
there's still more to go for this year. And it's really going to be the start of like an avalanche, haha,
No
of
pun
just good
intended.
vibes.
Yeah, the Avalanches and Daft Punk feel like two very similar groups that like it feels like they probably wouldn't openly admit it, but it feels like one influenced the other, or that they both have influenced each other in ways we fail to appreciate because
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's well over our heads.
especially with their live performance that they put on tape live 2007 has that Avalanches like transitional quality
Hmm.
to it where they combine two
Hmm.
songs together and it just has that same fiery magic that like the Big Tent set has. That's the first thing I thought of.
Dude.
um,
Yeah.
Random Access Memories, I was in high school when that happened. I was like a junior in high school at the time it dropped, and it's just like everybody was bumping like Get Lucky, Lose Yourself to Dance. Like, of course, it's all the
Lose
tracks with
yourself to dance.
like all the tracks with Pharrell Williams, obviously. But then you miss out on amazing cuts like I don't know, like Instant Crush with Julian Casablancas of all people.
That one's huge. I love that.
It's so sick. I love it. It just like lulls you in. These guys are
Hmm.
nerds. Every single one of their tracks for the first half goes up by a half step each time until they hit Get Lucky. It's
Yeah.
frightening how well
Give
they get
life
away
back
with
to
it.
music, the
Yeah.
game of love, and then they just fucking bring it out with Giorgio by Marauder. Fuck.
One of their best songs, and originally it was at the top of one of my music lists for songs.
Hmm.
Coincidentally, the same one that I shared with Haddock back in 2022. Now,
Yeah.
it took me a while, but it's gotten to the point where like for the longest time, One More Time used to be my favorite Daft Punk song. Giorgio Moroder came very close, and then just I don't know how I didn't quite click with it immediately the first time I heard it. I always knew I really liked it when I listened to Random Access Memories, but the song Touch, like, it got to the
Oh
point
yeah.
where with
The
each
Paul
repeat
Williams.
listen, it was just like, wow, the
Yep.
lines resonate in ways that fuck me up. I was the most recent times that I'd listened to it, I was just like, if you want a good cry, that track has lines that just stab you in the heart. Like,
Will crush you, and it's gonna turn that blade multiple times.
mm-hmm. You know, the first few lines. Again, the guest feature of, I think it's like something Williams was like the perfect inclusion for the vocals.
It features Paul Williams on that one, right
What
after Pharrell Williams
what a
for
choice!
the
What a choice for
performance.
the guest feature on that one. He's the perfect like voice to humanize the robots, especially with lines like
Yep.
"You've almost convinced me I'm real," which is like we all get those feels sometimes. You like get to the
Yeah.
end of this like emotional build, which like
Hmm.
it's like almost reaching heaven, but then you like get snapped back into reality, and it's like you've given me too much to feel, which is a perfect way to describe what like PA Cartney was like. I'm just like,
Yeah. It hit, dude. It was not just a me. Like I think I was just like crying publicly every day for like 2 weeks, just like processing and reprocessing, not even just the meat, but just like the rest of life too. Just
mm-hmm.
like it started like it started a tidal wave of like almost like emotional awakening
Yep.
in a way that I had never experienced before.
Well, I had never hugged so many people in a single weekend because I needed that emotional connection. A game
Mm-hmm.
that had left me with a feeling of like damage because it was important for me to heal. That experience has been so important
So
and
healing.
it's still a work in progress. And so the fact that people that
That
I
was a good start.
communicated with, people like Lucera and Ashley and IMAF and like all those folks were able to like share that same like emotional like resonance and connection in that way was like incredibly important because I got very stressed out even when I was not playing the game or
Of course.
it's just that sort of thing where I would just be like I was commentating finals and I was feeling very strongly because I knew I was like Lawmaster is probably feeling nervous. I was feeling nervous. Everybody was feeling.
He was, yeah. He was feeling it. That
I
was
would like when the
he
stream.
was, especially after like Choco Mountain and stuff like that. I just put my hand on his shoulders, like, "You got this, man. You got this."
I
And
like
he broke.
yeah, yeah. I remember when the internet went out and I was just so nervous. I walked up to Lucera. I'm like, I'm so effing nervous, and I like hugged her and then Ashley
Yeah,
right afterwards because
I
I'm just like,
I was trying to get that back and running as fast as possible, and we just couldn't couldn't get it, and it was very frustrating because like I
yeah,
threw down an extra $50, and it's like, okay, you have more, but it's still at the lesser kilobyte rate. It's like, what the hell? What the actual fuck?
yeah.
Just
Everything was like an accident waiting to happen, but it didn't quite fully surface that entire time. The
yeah,
walking in the
I was
morning.
worried about it.
Imagine being
Mhm.
Brody. He sees me dressed up as an anime girl. Obviously knows it's me because I'm this Hattok is staggering behind. He's just like, how the hell am I gonna do this on Saturday?
Yeah,
When
I was a bag of garbage that morning.
I dropped in late. I had to constantly readjust the bangs on my wig because they were getting in the way when I was trying to set up each of the
Hmm.
setups.
Yeah, it was like going in your eye.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And eventually I got it set up. It just took a while, which, as a TO for Wisco Cartney, that was a learning experience. I just had to be the TO, dress up in street clothes the whole time, and just zero in on having everything perfectly set up. I could get away with not being the TO because it's Brody's tournament. It's not my tournament. That's the key distinction
He's
here.
he's put a lot of work into it, and I'm glad that Jed came on and figured out some new things for the tournament format.
Yep.
It was really well done.
Everybody pitched in meaningful ways, whether they knew it or
Mhm.
not. I remember people just like, do you need help with this setup? Or like, what can we do? I'm like, I need this capture
Mhm.
card. IMAth at the same capture card that I have, GV USB 2,
Mhm.
so I could have
Yep.
more than one recording like available and
Mhm.
running, which was so important because it helped everything to run not on time, but ahead of time. It made a big difference in the grand scheme of things that we could run pools in that quick of
Mhm.
fashion. Um, yeah, I mean, we learned a lot in a hurry, just like how the sun impacts the way that people can see the CRTs. Because I love the venue; it's very picturesque.
That was huge.
But
Yeah,
for
that was huge.
CRTs, it makes it very challenging when the sun's out and it's all nice and stuff.
We definitely, learned a lot from, that venue and the things that we could improve for next year.
Yep.
And but it was still, even in these slight imperfection, it was just really just the perfect time.
Yep. It absolutely was. Just all the little interactions everybody had with each other, and you can't get everything. What I was going to get was like meaningful conversations with everybody. I know Puddings had remarked like, I wish we had gotten more pictures. I feel the same way. It's
Yeah,
like very
same.
difficult where you can't necessarily get pictures with everybody when you're in the moment.
Hmm.
So like other people do, and hopefully we'll just have somebody who's sort of dedicated to like taking pictures while we're all just kind of living the moments, because that's the stuff that you like
Yeah.
you look back on and you're just like, I got the chance to be myself, and somebody else was filling in the blanks.
Yeah, it was nice, the pictures that we did take, like when Denny brought out the drone, and took some really nice shots, and then there's like some good candids that happened.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was the first person to walked up to Schlanks to ask for a picture because I did manage to take a few. I did.
Hmm.
I kind of got lost in GG for like Saturday, and I was
Yeah, I was like tired and hungover, so it didn't even like cross my mind at all because we were just like just experiencing just being around each other and
yep.
living in the moment that we didn't really think about it until much later.
I kind of
And it was like,
forgot like about
yeah,
playing the game or anything. The moment Maple is just like, "Oh, Amelia Watson too," and then I would like did my intro, and he's like, "You pulled it off so well. You're looking cute." I'm like just like screaming internally. I'm like, "Yeah,
hell
let's
yeah, hell
go."
yeah,
And then
that's
Hattok came up to
fucking
me later
dope.
today when he was like sobered up, and he's just like, "You're looking great." I'm like,
Yeah, you look, yeah, yeah. I was like, you seriously, you did it because I was so proud of you, on your fitness journey and making it work, and the outfit was so good. Like,
and I think my first words to him, because he was finally sober, I'm just like, my man, I could
I'm in.
forgive him for having a terrible time. Actually, frankly, nobody wanted to be in our hotel room. Both of us
I
were
feel
in
so bad.
both of us were in hell. Like, that's the thing about getting
Yeah.
hungover. We did not have enough water. We should have had more of a full meal for dinner. Haddock fooled himself into thinking he
Yeah.
was going to be fine food wise because he had a big meal the night before. I'm going to send him constant reminders next year. It's just like, if you're going to get messed up, have a full lunch. Just like have a full meal
Yeah,
right
we
beforehand.
need a much better base. We need a much better base, definitely.
And to hydrate that whole way too.
Because we started drinking on an empty stomach, which is why we got like to like that peak buzz like of just like
Way
so
too
excited
early.
before we
Way too early.
way too early. Yeah, we peaked way too early, and then when we get to level 20 and start downing shots and making merry with everybody,
Double fisting
and then it was
drinks.
just like, uh-oh, like I definitely ate, I believe I ate something, I don't remember what, but it was just like it was kind of too late at that point because we'd already had multiple drinks at that point.
Yeah, we were just way
We
too.
needed we needed a better base.
Yep.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, say la vie, we live and learn.
True. I know. Like my first experience was Ashley was playing billiards with her, and I was way too fucked up to be able to play well.
Yeah,
So I
to
remember
hit
like
the
the bits
angles.
and pieces I remember playing with her. I was losing the entire time. I lost. I straight up lost, and I was taking several shots. Like bits and pieces that I remember going for like corner shots on that like on the pool table. I was missing every single one. That's how badly like wasted I was that night. It's not even necessarily that I had that many. At the wedding, I had more drinks. I had like a dozen. But here's the thing: I had a full stomach before I started to having mixers and drinks. I had had them over the course of like 6 to 8 hours. Compared to PA, that was it was expedited, and we
Yeah,
had
yeah,
nothing.
we were on the fast track for sure.
I remember talking to my older brother and my younger brother about that, and then both of them were just like, "You two done goofed." I'm like, "Yes, we did," and we were reminding each other of that the entire time, because that was like my younger brother was just like, "I went to college parties as a college athlete. You made the cardinal sins of drinking at parties, which was not enough hydration and not eating
Hmm.
enough food beforehand." Like, I'm like, you're right. I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. My older brother said the exact same thing too. Because the first time I ever got wasted was with him when we were out in lacrosse on a spring break when I was 21 or 22 years old.
Hmm.
And that was the very first time I discovered what it was like to have the divine buzz, which made it
Yeah.
even funnier
It,
because the
it,
following morning we went rock climbing, and I'm like, I didn't sign up for this.
oh God,
we went
what?
to we went to a rock
Just
climbing
like
wall.
just sweating booze.
We went to a rock climbing wall the following morning at like on campus
Jeez,
at UW
dude.
La Crosse, and I'm just like, I'm very tired. And Andrew was just like,
Yeah, I believe
let's
that.
go. Yeah, yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Seriously. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, climbing, like you're mentally and physically fatigued already. Now you're gonna do like one of the toughest things physically that you can do.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said before, our hangover was terrible. Like Haddock and I were both suffering for 2 3 hours
Well,
at least.
because I didn't even know like what happened, like basically like after we got back. I wake up, you know, anime girl yelling at me. I'm in different clothes. I put my glasses on and I'm like, I can't see shit. Like I'm fucked up. And it wasn't until we get to level 20 that I realized that I still had my contacts in, so I also had my glasses on, and that's why I couldn't see shit because
Yep. Yep.
it was a double prescription basically at that point.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, like I'm trying to set up my computer, and I'm doing it at like snail rate because I'm like one chord at a time, just trying to make it.
Yep.
Just trying to make it.
Yeah, I had the courtesy to clean up our hotel room. I did
Thank you.
not want customer service or housekeeping to see
Yeah.
any of that. I was sober enough that I
Yeah.
could take care of that, but like
Thank you.
even though I fared better, I was still miserable that like following morning. I'm just like, Brody is not. He probably knew. I'm like, but I was
Well,
still thinking.
you were worried.
I was thinking to myself, Brody's gonna be pissed. And I was thinking that as I was having like stomach convulsions for like 2-3 hours, I could not get back to sleep.
It was rough.
I
It was rough. I had waves of nausea all day. Like even after lunch, dinner, I'm just like, oh god. When I took that nap on the ground, it was the best. The best.
It was. We learned a hard lesson, but that's because we both wanted to get smashed without thinking about the consequences of our actions.
Yeah.
It
Crazy
was,
thing that because I feel like I should have learned that 1,000 times already.
well, you would think so, but like again, that's just the pride
We're having a great time.
pride coming before the fall, where you're just like, yo, party time, without like
it's on.
manage like. You got to be a bit of a micromanager during party time too. It's like those small things.
The game is afoot.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's the biggest thing about drinking.
And we were running, that's for sure.
We were hitting the ground
metaphorically and actually.
Yeah, we were hitting the ground running. I think we're gonna have a lot more fun at like level 20 next year. Not that this year wasn't fun, but we've learned we are prime time for next year.
There's so many good ideas, and like I said, the ice has been broken with a lot of people who seem like they're going to be coming back. So, we're just going to have an even more, not more better, but just more transcendental time.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned before, we're turning this karaoke floor session into a dance floor now. I mean, we aren't not going to do that. Yeah,
I'm down to get down.
Yeah. It's going to give us a chance. I am going to do everything in my efforts to get that sing-along of Chop Suey by System of a Down. We did it in the car on the way there. Everybody needs to be a part of it. Like,
yeah.
I can remember.
Oh my god.
Like my cousins and I during Christmas time, we did a sing-along of Chop Suey by System of a Down, and it was, imagine doing that with a whole bunch of card folks. Like I already told a couple of friends that I'm like, this time I'm bringing Gigi to level 20 instead, because I showed a cover of Evanescence's "Wake Me Up Inside" that she did, and it is one of the most unhinged things ever. And I'm like, I don't know if I can pull off the scream and the clean vocals, so I might have Cheech back me up with the screeches. I'm like, thank you.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I intend to do that for karaoke. I intend to do that if nothing else. I think it'd be even funnier if I did a John Denver song as Gigi. The juxtaposition between the two.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, you can only get away with so much. There are going to be a lot of people that want to karaoke certain songs, and we're going to try to make sure that we make everybody's experience as memorable as it was for us. That's going to be the biggest and most important thing. It's like, it's not about me. It's about everybody else around me. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And that's like, and thankfully,
truly,
the party continues for a few select bunch of us who have been continuing to ride the wave, because the Wisco Car Crew and Psychedelic Joey, we're going to get lit again when we go to Midwest Speedfest this April. It's gonna be so good.
It's coming up. It's less than 2 weeks away, and I've been looking forward to it since EA Kart Me, and knowing that Wild Animal Racing's in.
Yes.
Yes. DKR is definitely going to happen because that donation incentive is going to get met.
We need to make sure it happens.
and our kart relay, and then also I'll be hosting at some point.
Oh yes,
It,
absolutely. You
it's
are.
gonna be so good. And then outside of that, there's a whole VGM convention of music. Like I'm actually like I told you, I'm gonna go in my rave suit and we're gonna party. Like it's gonna be so goddamn good. I cannot wait. I'm gonna bang my table a couple times just to get that point out because it's. I feel like just the past month since PA Kart Meet has felt like so long. I'm just like just longing for the next function for us to go to.
Yep, and that's been
Can't
like the
wait.
one thing that the five of us have been talking about this like whole time. It's just like it's a different experience. Speedrun marathons are nothing but wholesome. Like everybody always has a very good time at those sorts of things. Haddock and I already knew that, which is why I was like, let's try to see if we can get the Wisco Car crew to make it in some capacity. Because the first time I went to Midwest Speedfest was completely by accident. A friend of mine who does video game music was just like, you should apply for this. I'm like, I have nothing going on at that time, so I'll give it a try. Didn't know Frogger was going to make it in. That was a complete surprise.
Hell
So
yeah.
going into next year, I'm like, nothing is guaranteed, but I want to see if I can get our Wisco Car crew to show up to VGM Con. I was going to go show up solo no matter what because the first time was so much fun. So I was just like, it took a lot of nagging, like Josh and Tom and Mr. Ponytail to be like, we should do a Grand Prix relay submission. I was just
Yep.
like, getting
Yep.
everybody to like make that choice. It took a lot of me like laying down the hammer, just like get your submission, then don't make it too close. It ended up.
Yeah, I was like right at the bell basically because I was like, fuck, I just have to record one. Just got to record one. Just get it in. Get it in.
Haddock
We
with
did
the
it.
Haddock with the classic procrastination. That's
Put the
the
pro in procrastination. It's really just how it is, but
yeah. At the end of
we
the
made
day,
it. We made it in.
we did it on time.
And yep, it was yeah.
The beginning of that like wave that something special was going to happen this spring and summer for like the car community was when all four of us were all sitting kind of like in chat during the reveal stream schedule. That was a special moment too.
I was yelling out loud.
I had to
I was
keep
like,
myself
we
together
did
because
it.
I
We
was still
fucking did it.
at work when it was happening because I'm just like I'm writing down the number of games that could potentially be in there because I'm like it's an upwards of like 30 to 35. So I'm like, okay, this means we have this slightly less of a chance because I'm just like it's very possible we could walk away empty-handed. But I was still going to show up as a spectator regardless. But then the hit started tumbling in. It started off with Mr. Ponytail making it as a bonus game. He's like, okay, so maybe I'll get
that incentive's getting in. Like
like
I'm donating. I'm encouraging everyone to donate. We're gonna get DKR in.
we need DKR deserves to be seen. I was just like, he was just like,
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah,
I'll get to
he
run. But I was in Discord chat just like, we're gonna make sure that you get to run this. There has been very few times where
we're gonna make sure that he's able to run that.
because it deserves to be seen. I want at least one very clear chance for Psychedelic Joey, Sweener, like a few other DKR folks to be able to commentate because this is going to be a big moment for folks like those.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I have complete faith that incentives getting met because we're gonna make it happen.
There have been very few times where a bonus run was not included for Midwest Speedfest. It's been like once or twice in its 10-year span. So yeah, we're not going to miss out on that.
It's happening.
Yep.
It's happening. We're manifesting that.
So like the first time that was revealed, everybody was just like, okay, so we still have a chance. Somebody's got to run in. If one of us can make it in, maybe more of us will. I got to the Goovy block and I'm like, this is probably my time to shine. And as soon as they said
fucking A, dude.
Wild, I'm like,
uh-oh.
Here we go.
I was yelling at my monitor. I was like, it's happening. Guys, it's happening. My God, guys, it's happening.
Yeah, so they like announced Wild Animal Racing and I'm just like, people were already getting excited in like the Midwest Speedfest chat when somebody was just like, are you going to submit this? I'm like, you better bet I am. And
you bet you're fucking bippy.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be benching this boat with a giraffe.
Yeah. We can't just have a boat. It's gonna be vented.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's going to
unvent
be. Yeah, it's
and
going to be.
rebent.
Oh, it's the hardest decision that's gonna. It's going to be who is going to be like on main commentary because I've got like an overflow list of people who want to commentate that game. It's like I've never had that.
My
It's a good problem to have because Psychedelic Joey wants to commentate. I said Mr. Ponytail would be a good one, like Hattok. And then there's at least 3 other people that want to commentate that game because Wild Animal
We
Racing
could
just
just
kind of.
play musical chairs or something. Just like uh,
Yeah.
like Chinese fire drill it.
Yeah, like per cup. It's just like, okay, and welcome these people in, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is just so beloved to talk about. It just has that, like, magnetic pull for people who have never played it before, never seen it.
It's wacky,
It
and
is.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
If you want to get away from Mario Kart 64 and appreciate how stable most racing games are, Wild Animal Racing
Yeah.
will be that like thing. But actually, I like playing Wild Animal Racing more than I like playing Mario Kart 64. It's a hot take, but it is just so special to me.
I mean, honestly, especially what we were talking about earlier, man. Like, go for it. Like, you're making it happen. Like, you've been submitting this run to various places, and to like I said, 2025 is our year. It's happening.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
I'm not going to be able to submit for SGDQ this year, unfortunately. Just the way that it falls into like the family vacation. I might be able to make it in person just to spectate, like Friday, Saturday, but that's to be determined. I guess I submitted it to 1 or 2 marathons before, and I'm like, my biggest influence to pick Wild Animal Racing is when I saw Wild Animal Sports Day at AGDQ, as Awful Block in 2020, and I'm just like, this is one of the funniest runs I have ever seen. It left an impression, and I'm just like, one of these days I'm going to run it when I have a good enough PC, and as soon as I had the opportunity, I'm just like, it was so worth it. And I'm going to do my best to do it justice. It could be a very chaotic run where nothing goes right, but again, that's Wild Animal Racing
You know
for
what?
you.
We'll be having a good time.
Yeah,
And we'll be there cheering you on.
there are going to be so many people that want to talk about that game, and we're gonna really bring the crowd into it. The audience is gonna have a field day with this game. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna make it a hype time.
We will. We will.
It'll be fine no matter what happens.
And just when we thought that our viewing experience of the reveal stream couldn't have hit more of a cloud 9, I'm just like, okay, I got one game in. Odds are nothing else is going to be included. My impression, and Josh was just like, well, didn't it seem preeminent? He thought it was just always guaranteed. But I don't think he realizes that nothing is guaranteed when you submit to a speedrun marathon because of the level of talent, no matter if it's regional or national. If you get in once, usually that means nothing else gets selected when you submit to a speedrun marathon. I was just like, okay, Wild Animal Racing's in.
Yeah,
Roll
right.
credits.
I mean, that would have been fine. That would have been fine.
That would have been
you
great.
know?
I would have been.
That was huge news to see that you made it. It was huge.
So we're getting to
It's
the.
such that I was not expecting what comes next.
So we're getting to the end of the night, the end of the night for Saturday for the reveal, and one of the commentators said, "Wouldn't that be grand?" And they say grand, and I'm just like, "What is going on?" And then I see.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I see the reveal tile that says Grand Prix Relay, Mario Kart 64, myself, Wamaster, Mr. Ponytail, and Hattok, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I was like, I thought maybe you have one of those dreams where everything's going right suddenly, and you're just like, I'm about to wake up and be like, damn, I guess we didn't make it in this time. And pinch yourself because we fucking did it.
Because it was crazy when that was unveiled. I'm like, there is no way they actually chose that. Josh thought it was guaranteed this whole time. I think he's a very unique.
I did not.
I didn't. I had no clue.
I thought it was very low for that to make it in.
And then to hear the people in the panel just talking about how much they loved that inclusion, talking about like high level, like bunch of people who play at Mario Kart at a very high level, we're so used to just like knocking ourselves down a peg because Mario Kart's extremely competitive already. And
Right,
then
right.
folks from the outside are
They were
like
so
saying
excited.
they were. I'd never seen
Yeah,
Jaxler
I
speak
was
with so
blown
much
away.
enthusiasm about that game. It's like
Yeah.
he thought, each of them are going to play a cup. It's going to be fantastic. I'm like,
Yeah, and just the history of Midwest Speed Fest of it now in its 10th year, and they're like, well, it was in the first year, and now we're gonna bring it back for the decade, you know.
in a
And
brand
it
new
was
way.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
that was
just
my
mm,
reason for originally submitting it because our good friend from Minnesota, Sergeant Raven, submitted it
Roger Raven.
and ran it at the very first Midwest Speed Fest back in 2016. 10 years ago.
That's crazy because my first commentary ever was couch commentary for Abney at SGDQ 15, and I was on the couch with Sergeant Raven. So
Hmm.
it's just like um, kind of like the funny how the stars line up like that,
It's a full
And
circle
now
sort
here
of
we are.
moment. We're
Yeah,
we're
no,
carrying off.
it fully is.
We're carrying
It
off
brings me
where
back to a decade ago.
we're carrying off things where Sergeant Raven first picked up pace, like where Sergeant Raven last left off. I was always just like, this feels like a symbolic choice, and maybe, just maybe, the panel will feel it. And somehow, yeah, I inexplicably read their minds. Again,
It happened.
I don't know if you remember, but back in the day when HEDQ was like in 2015, I was at the end of high
Mhm,
school when this happened, and they
mhm.
did a Ninja Gaiden relay race, one of the
Oh yeah.
craziest relay
Mhm.
races they had ever done, and I'm
Yep.
just like, wouldn't it be cool to submit a relay of that same sort to a smaller marathon because we'd have a good chance. It wasn't like guaranteed,
You're
but
right.
I'm just like,
Better than some of the much larger ones. Absolutely.
because like GDQ is
It was a good
extreme.
call. It was
It
a great
really
call.
was, and honestly, I was just like, I, in my mind, Josh needs an experience that's not just a card tournament, something that's
Yeah.
completely different. Because going to card tournaments are fun, but then you really open up your boundaries and you're like,
Mhm.
your world opens when you go to a speedrun marathon. People who are passionate about a wide array of different
Absolutely.
games and not having to be competitive too, doing something for
Yep.
charity.
And that was another big thing because that was before the meet happened. So just the fact that he won that is very important because now I feel like he's gonna just go to just enjoy himself now and not worry about winning. He's already won a
Yeah,
major
I
tournament now.
I think I'm gonna say something along the lines like when we're in Rainbow Road during the actual relay is like
Yep.
this is Wamaster's very first speedrun marathon, and I'm this is Hattock's first run as a speedrunner at a
Run, yeah, I've
marathon.
done commentary on big stages and all sorts of stuff, but not an actual run. So this is new to me too, and it's gonna be special. Like we fucking doing this together, and I'm
Hmm.
really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to at least say something along the lines during Special Cup, like you have given Wamaster the experience of a lifetime, and he will remember it for years and years
Me
because he
too.
he will. It's going to be very meaningful for him. I mean, I'm probably going to get very sappy at the end of that run because we got a whole
Yeah,
Rainbow Road. We got a whole
here's
Rainbow
five and a
Road.
half minutes of crying.
Yeah, we had a whole Rainbow Road to run our shout out so that we don't bog down the
Yep.
schedule. Where I can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
all
It's
should go to
perfect.
Wisco Kart me because we will definitely talk about that during Rainbow Road.
Undoubtedly,
Uh
yeah,
huh.
undoubtedly.
Talk about like the tight connection the Wisco Car crew has during that. Just simply that like you gave the Wisco Car crew an experience to remember because it's going to be for the folks like Mr. Ponytail and I who have been around the block at speedrun marathons. You always leave behind feeling lighter than air when you leave, especially if you're a runner or like even on the couch. You always feel inspired to do bigger and better things.
Absolutely,
It always
absolutely.
is. It always is.
I think it's just the logical next rung on this ladder of inspiration that we've been feeling since PA. Just literally just like I said before, and I said that before. 2025 is our year, and it's happening, and it's
It
good things
is.
are here and coming, and
Our crew,
so many good things.
our crew needed a shot in the arm because there are some of us who don't talk to each other,
Absolutely.
but the four of us have always been together. We have never set
Hmm.
apart, and this is our moment. This is our chance to
Yep.
shine. and
This
show
is
the
huge. This
show
this
the
is
world
huge for me.
why our state scene is nothing short of special.
Yeah,
I
absolutely,
I felt
absolutely.
something in the stream when everybody outside of even our own car community was starting to like put Wisco hype in the chat after the reveal. It was like
Dude,
a dozen of
yes.
us saying that. I'm like, this
Yep.
is a movement.
Yep. It's happening.
I
The Wisco invasion has happened.
It really is. I know, like, Josh says it all the time, and I'm like, okay. I'm starting to believe it a little bit, you know?
Hmm.
If we could get Wisco chance at, like, Midwest Speedfest,
Believe the hype. Believe
yeah,
the hype.
believe the hype. Yeah, we are going to bring the hype. And for those of you who are still in chat, we would highly encourage you to drop in for
Please.
every single one of our runs that are going to be featured. Whether
Please.
it be DKR,
Please,
that's going to be at
please
the
come and
end of
support.
Friday nights at 12:30, slightly after
Hmm.
midnight. But I'm going to say it's worth staying up for. Mr. Ponytail is one of the
Yeah.
most
It,
talented
it, it would it
speedrunners
would
out
it
there.
would mean it would mean a lot to us if you came and supported.
It'll be on Twitch. If you search Midwest Speedfest, you'll find the channel that way. They're live on Friday, Saturday, Sunday from April 12th through, I believe it's April 11th through the 13th, if I look at the
Correct.
calendar correctly. Yep. And
Yeah, that's
at the
correct.
end of the 11th on Friday, that's when DKR is running by Mr. Ponytail. Saturday, if you want to see something truly zany, again, slightly afternoon Central Time, you can't miss out on Wild Animal Racing. It's gonna be an experience.
Hmm.
And then if you wanted to ride the hype that the Mario Kart 64 community brings, you want to be on the action.
Yep.
8:30 Central Time. That's when our GP relay is. You're gonna want to check it out. We are going to put on a show.
Uh, just the practice that we did at PA, we had a great homie time, just hanging, chilling. We had so many like good laughs, just playing and practicing one run, one run. That's gonna be so good when we actually get up there and we just chill and
Yeah,
just vibe and have a great
it's gonna be
time.
so great. There are gonna be so many quips about like I think Wildmaster might be a Wario fan. We might need more research or something like that. We're gonna play
Yeah,
so
I feel
heavily.
like, I'm kind of on the fence if he actually likes Wario or not. I'm not quite sure yet.
It's gonna be so fun to tell the audience who are gonna be just like blown away by like, yeah, Wildmaster is playing Wario. You would think that he would play a light plate character, but that just goes to show that out of all four of us, Wildmaster is the single best like Grand Prix racer of all four of us. That he can do it just as fast as some
He's
of us
definitely
do
really good.
with a lightweight character. We're gonna
Yep.
emphasize that because
Yep.
it's
Yeah, he's playing as Wario, both literally and in the game.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it has a double meaning there. And then to have Hattok anchor, no better person to anchor the relay than somebody as cool headed as
I'm
like
gonna I'm
Hattok.
gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it. I was doing some special cup runs the other day, and I'm feeling confident. As far as DK Jungle Parkway and Yoshi Valley are concerned. Banshee Boardwalk can be a crapshoot no matter what, and then we're
Yep.
gonna ride the train right into Rainbow Road and have feels for the rest of the run. So
Yep. Yeah.
that's basically like the victory laps where we're just like, here we are.
We're gonna get the chance if
Here we
something
are.
goes wrong on Rainbow Road. It gives us the chance to say, "Oh, can we
Even
pet
more.
the doggo? Can we pet
Yeah,
the doggo?"
yeah.
Anything that goes wrong, we're gonna be like taking advantage of it and having a light sense of humor about it because I know there's
For
always
sure.
a chance for something to go
Yeah,
wrong on
we're just gonna be
KTB.
there, just enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of cool glitches to explain because some of the folks have never seen the eighth place item glitch on KTB before, or just like
Yeah.
when something goes purely wrong and there's a CPU bolt. Because I'm going to be able to explain that at the beginning of Luigi Raceway when we're going over basic
I'm hoping
concepts.
that I get a boo on Yoshi Valley too, because I'll go for the 8th place item glitch there too.
Yes.
I pulled a star in a run at one of my last streams.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, I hope I get a boo because I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna see if I can get a star. If I get a star, it's gonna be like so goddamn hype if I can pull a
Yeah.
fucking star. in Yoshi
Oh
Valley.
yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to get an eighth place
I
item
am
glitch too.
hoping. I'm hoping.
Just like even those small things that the folks have never seen, like outside of the major speedrunning crowd, is gonna blow their minds. Like stuff like that.
Yeah. We're gonna bring it in a big way, and I'm excited. And Definitely
I
gonna practice some more.
I'm excited for everybody. Like I mentioned before, Hattok gets to finally be the runner on the big
You're
stage.
right.
I've been
After
around the
like
block
10 years of
before.
going to events.
Just another chance for me to show off. Mr. Ponytail is extremely talented.
So great,
Midwest
man.
Speedfest folks don't realize what they landed when they got Mr. Ponytail to submit.
Hmm.
And then
Oh yeah,
Wamaster is going to
it's
bring the
huge.
spirit, the energy, which
Yeah,
he has
believe
that
the
way.
hype.
Believe the hype.
Believe the hype.
So yeah, like I said, before we move on to the next topic, y'all got to check it out. Speedrun marathons are always special to me because tournaments will sometimes just have that competition dull some of that experience, but with marathons, there isn't any of that. Everybody's out for each other, very supportive. We were very fortunate that PA Carp Meet landed that same energy, and I
Hmm.
am hoping we'll get that same energy for when we go into Wisco Carp Meet this summer. Wisco Carp Meet 2025. It's coming up quickly. We are just a little less than 5 months away from it. Like it's fast approaching. It is fast approaching.
Can't
And
wait. Can't wait to have a beer and bowl some bowl a couple lanes, a couple games,
yep,
roll the rock down the lane.
I wanted to set myself apart from Brody because he always has like the social night at level 20. It's its own experience where I'm just like, look, the social night is great, but we need to do it slightly differently. Because to set ourselves apart, that's the biggest thing Brody has. His
Absolutely.
philosophy, mine has always been like open doors. Anybody can drop in. You could have no clue how to play this game. We highly encourage you to show up.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't even have to have a
Show
timesheet
up.
filled in. Like, because there are going to be people that have never played the game before from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe who are going to be playing for the first time. We landed the perfect TO crew for this event.
Yep.
And
It's
if you don't believe me, Danny Fathom. Danny
hell
Fathom's
yeah.
the man.
Primo. Yeah, primo.
As you guys may know, unlike Brody, who can just pull these numbers in out of a hat, he works extremely hard for it. Whisker Kart Me just does not have that same pull for just Mario Kart 64. We kind of have to rely on getting an extra flow of players from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because Green Bay is a little bit difficult to convince people to go to, quite like
Yes.
PA is, where there's like an accessible airport and it's at a reasonable price. With Green Bay, everything's a little bit more expensive, unfortunately. But I like to think, here's the thing: no bias. Okay, all bias. Pittsburgh's
Full
roads.
bias.
Pittsburgh's roads suck. They suck. They're
They
awful.
suck.
You suck. And I'm an NYU film school graduate. Sucker.
Sucker.
Sucker. Green Bay's roads are some of the best roads out there. The neighborhood is one of the single best city neighborhoods in the entire country. Green Bay is the perfect environment for a kart meet. I'm just gonna say, if you wanted to ever spend a Saturday on the final morning, go out to the pancake place in the morning.
Oh, I fucking love that place. God damn.
Yeah, it's so good. Stroll
The
around
pancake place is so good.
stroll around the neighborhood, walk around with the Wisco Kart crew and other Mario Kart players, in Titletown, in the Titletown district.
Yep. Yep.
You'll want to join us for that.
And it's August, so the weather's really nice. It was hot when we were taking a walk around.
It was perfect, a perfect morning walk through the neighborhood, because you're walking through the suburbs one moment, and the next moment you're in front of a massive football field. Even if you're not a Green Bay Packers fan, you wouldn't want to miss out on this experience. Walking with a bunch of other Mario Kart 64 players, marveling at the size of Lambeau Field. The Titletown district as a whole is something else. And the pancake place. Again, we get to have breakfast before we get to play some Mario Kart. Unlike Brody,
Those pancakes are no joke, man. There was a part where I really thought I wasn't gonna be able to finish the triple stack, and the full stack rather. I knew if I took a break at all, I was not gonna be able to finish it.
Yep.
It filled me way up.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that it's been a year, No, will have been a year. I don't think I could do that again.
Yep.
Just given my
My
current caloric intake.
yeah. My metabolism would not allow for that anymore. Like I try to eat as much as I used to, and my stomach will be like, "You need to stop right now." It like clearly tells me nowadays with the way that I eat. I could still snack a fair bit, but my stomach will just now be like, "You're gonna regret this. You don't want to do this right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I've had enough earlier than usual." Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't you don't believe Hattok and I? The pancake stacks at the pancake place are your eyes get bigger than what you can actually handle.
They're real manhole covers, is what they call them.
Yep,
Manhole covers. They're
they are.
huge, and
I remember when we were looking at the menus and like both Dylan and Tom were just like, "We're gonna have this many," and I'm like, both the waitress and I were looking at each other because we
yeah, they're
already
like,
knew.
yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah. But I heard that one before. I know how this ends.
I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" And the waitress said the exact same thing. Because I learned my lesson too when I only had two pancakes. I would only do one now. One is plenty enough. Because they're extremely filling.
Yes, they are.
Again, y'all will want to join us if you want to have a memorable breakfast. Like Pancake Place is one of the perfect like local breakfast like joints.
It's really like, yeah, like, you know, it's a hometown favorite kind of place. Like it's a real good diner,
in
real
that
good.
in that same way that like Brody hunted down level 20. We have our level 20, but for breakfast instead.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And then we have our own social. Again, karaoke is fun, and I like that. But what if you want to go bowling for a few frames with us? We got
Hell yeah.
we not to mention our venue that we're at is the bowling alley. It is a phenomenal venue.
It's so good. Yeah, that as far as bowling alleys go, that one is actually like really one of my favorites in the state.
They've got amazing event halls. They've got bowling at nighttime, and the four of us that went bowling that night, we had an amazing time.
And there's a bar, so it's
If you
perfect.
if you want to have a few shots, there will be a few of us who are going to be responsible drivers that night. So you can have a couple shots,
Yeah.
have a few drinks, go bowling for a few frames. We're not going to stay nearly as long as we did last time because our 64 crew, is going to have an Airbnb. And for those of you who choose to drop in earlier on Thursday for the social night, we're going to be cooking dinner for everybody like that wants to join us early. It's going to be a limited crowd. We can't do the same thing that Brody did, but like I think around like 12 to 15 of us could gather up in the 64 card crew household that we're going to be getting on the Titletown district, and it's going to be a great time. We've already gotten volunteer offers from Hattok, Psychedelic Joey, and Mr. Ponytail to cook Thursday
Yep.
night dinner in the evening.
Yeah, last year I made some shish kebabs, and I got a couple other ideas in mind.
And it's looking like it's going to be like burgers and brats and stuff like that. We'll be sure
Yeah,
to cater.
that's definitely part of it for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
as far as Wisconsin goes, if we don't grill out some burgers and brats, what are we doing? You
yeah.
know,
Honestly, and we're going to have the
that's
perfect.
kind of a Wisconsin
It's
staple.
going to be amazing. Like, it's one thing to be served dinner on these social nights, but to be around and to talk to other people while the cooks are like at work. I mean, it's gonna be nothing but good vibes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Joey was a line cook in the past, so is Dylan. Uh, Tom's gonna be helping out. I'm gonna do my best with some of the prep work process as well. Everybody's gonna be contributing and helping,
It's gonna be great.
pitching in, you know. So like, there's gonna be some good music probably playing. I mean, my guess is
Oh
it's just
yeah.
gonna be
Oh yeah.
like homies being homies.
Oh
If
yeah.
you wanted to hang out with Haddock, myself, Psychedelic Joey, Mr. Ponytail, Denny, Uno.
It'll be so good.
Again, if you
Denny.
want an
Oh,
opportunity to be with Uno this like for a weekend
yes,
in
Uno.
public,
Yes.
he's gonna be there. He is gonna be there. I mean, I
I'm
know
so excited that Uno's coming out.
he's the man.
He's always great guy to talk to when I've been to Summer Card Invitational. Just like the fact that he's had even considered coming to Wisco, I was just like, he locked in, and I'm like, God, yes,
That
yes,
was the
yes.
that is the only thing I could like. If I had nothing else, the fact that he has put his like seal of approval and faith in us is more than worth showing up. Again,
Mm-hmm.
there are close
Mm-hmm.
boundaries with SKI. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way things are.
How it is.
You can't help it. It's just kind of that sort of like the VA crowd is very kind of just like, there's only so much we can do about it, but we're not gonna pick at them for that necessarily
Yeah,
because
it's
Wisco Card Invite was kind of the same sort of closed doors
yeah,
policy.
we. I mean, decisions are made, and it's good when you can have like a solid crew of people you can count on, and that's kind of like what they go for SKI, because it's more than just that. It's like there's a whole vacation involved,
Yep. Yeah.
and then the Airbnb to support that many people is pretty serious. You want people to lock in and
Yeah.
you know not have to worry about drama or this and that. So their decisions makes a lot of sense. I would never knock that.
It's extremely pragmatic, and I get it. I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't even necessarily. And honestly, even if people like myself were able, like, I've never been in a stable enough job where I can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just drop a whole week on that when my family is gonna be asking the exact same thing, and I've got other things. SKI is always that like prestige event. You shouldn't
Hmm.
it shouldn't be devalued because there's prestige behind it. People like Abney and Dan are going to pull in those
Really?
thousands of people, in because you get the iconic folks that have been the reason people have watched as far back as like 2013, 2012, so on and so
Oh
forth.
yeah,
There's that history and legacy. We're entering a new era, by the way, folks. Like,
we
what is
really are.
what is in front of us is going to supersede even what VA Meet did in the past, which is why I'm telling you guys to go to events like PA Cart Meet next year and Wisco
Please come
Cart
out.
Meet this year, because if you want to experience the new VA Meet, not even the new VA Meet, the renaissance
It's
of
just
carts.
it's something else entirely. Like to even like compare it to another meat from another time is just so crazy because
It's unfair. It's honestly unfair because
yeah, it's not it's apples to oranges now.
it
It's
is.
just
And
there
you'll
there
all
are all of these other meats, and then PA is just something completely different
Yeah,
and amazing.
it hits different. And like I said before, my desire is for in-person cart to become bigger and bigger. People deserve to be in on it. There's that
I
prestige
agree.
sort of like value to it, but then you get events like Wisco Cart Meet and PA Cart Meet where we want the future of in-person cart to stick around in the long term. And
Hmm.
I believe in the open doors policy. Everybody deserves
Yeah.
to be in on the action. In the past, it's always
Yeah.
been like 24 people maximum. Weatherton's house, okay, cool. Let's have that in a big convention center with thousands of people cheering. I mean, seriously, that is what I
Imagine
see.
that Wisco chant.
Yeah,
Fucking shatter the windows.
yeah. I mean, I think of the things that I experienced when I went to events like Super Smash Brother, like at Smash
Yes,
and Splash.
smash and splash.
Coincidentally, the same event that Hattok went to, and neither of us knew each other yet.
Crazy. Yeah, we had no idea. Yeah,
We had no idea the
no
magic
idea.
that we were going to experience later on. And again, I just say it. The type of hype that the audience get behind when somebody like Wizrobe wins his first tournament, I want that for our community because
It was hype.
it's magic. I want that magic
Hmm.
for our crowd. We deserve that
Yeah.
success.
Lord, I see what you did for other people. I just want you to know I want that for me too.
I do. I feel the exact same way because the Mario Kart 64 community has always been small and it has that advantages, but at the same time, the hype that we bring in, even with just 35 people at PA Kart Meet, was nothing short of like mythical. It's got that energy to it. Brody got immensely lucky to pull like a magical story like that. There are few times where you get to experience that sort of thing. Everybody who was there will was a part of one of the most historic moments in Mario Kart 64 history. Like, they got to experience the single best like Mario Kart meet of all time so far.
Right. Yeah. And see, even just trying to imagine something better than what we've experienced. It's like you know, you don't know what you don't know, and I feel like I said before, the ball is rolling, and we're gonna roll with it. Like
Well, we got plenty of
it's
people.
happening.
We got plenty of people who are looking to come to Wisco. Again, we intend
So
to make
excited.
sure that the entire coast of the United States is covered for in-person kart meets, be it like the East Coast with PA, Midwest with like Wisco, and potentially that will hopefully inspire somebody to pick up the steam and do something at the West Coast in the future as well. I want
Yeah,
that. I want
yeah,
that for us.
we gotta spread it. Yeah,
Spread the
we gotta get
love.
you know, uh, Washington, Oregon meet, Colorado meet. Like I would go see the fucking Rockies.
I
Let's
would
go.
too.
Let's fucking go.
We talked about like even if there wasn't a kart meet, Hattok and I would go on a road trip
Just
out to the
yeah,
Rockies just
just
to
road
do
trip.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just road trip, man. Like let's do it because we had the best road trip I've ever been on
I
with
would,
you.
I would do it all over again, but like in a completely different direction. I've got family that live in Denver. If I could get away with like having you house at their house, we could stay there for free. I mean, that would be amazing. My relatives out in Denver are like the best hosts. They treat everybody like royalty that goes to their place. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if I could pitch it to them that like my friend and I want to travel out to the Rockies, would you let us stay for a week? If I could do that, I would be so on board for that. Be on yachts with a bunch of peaches. We've got
Yeah,
one peach out in the
mil
Rockies.
millions of peaches, peaches
Millions of
for me.
peaches. I'm not sure I could handle millions of peaches. Peaches is already one hell of a personality on her own. I mean,
Peaches is great.
nobody knows that better than Wamaster.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God,
Ah.
dude.
Wamaster is a chick magnet, and he doesn't know
Yeah, yeah,
it. He
yeah.
doesn't
You,
know
you didn't
it, and it
you
gets
didn't
me
know,
every time.
and now you're a champion. So just keep going with that.
It makes me giddy every time, like somebody teases him.
I get super happy thinking about it too.
We're not gonna go into specifics. I mean, I just find it so funny. It's just like,
Hmm.
you know, the Lawmaster deserves the world. I've said it so
Yep.
many times.
He's making it happen.
He's
He's
making it
making it
happen.
happen. I mean, just like regular Wario, Wario's trying to get all the riches, get the fast car, have a castle, and I want that for Josh too.
Hmm. Yeah, he's working so hard, and I see a good future. But can Wario handle Gigi? I think we got our answer from PA Card Mates. He had no clue. He was like,
Yeah,
I,
though the whole universe will implode.
yeah. That made me, yeah. You cracked me up, Josh, when you had no clue it was me. I was skating off that high for the rest of the day.
Yep.
It's crazy. That's what's like speedrunning is about special moments like these. To me, that's what it will always be. And again, if there's anything to take away is that you find connections that everybody is into and it makes life so much better. Where's the lawnmower? We'll get there. I mean, look, we were going to originally do a skit where Wildflower Turquoise runs over Wario with a lawnmower, but we were having the time of our life, so it didn't matter that we
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
play.
I honestly I was surprised that that Wildflowers didn't show up.
He showed
Hey
up
there,
during
horsey
one.
man.
He showed up for one set during quarterfinals before I got eliminated. But like, I didn't need to bring
That's
him
right.
in. I was
That's
talking to
right.
different people. I was doing my thing, enjoying myself.
All right. Yeah, actually, that it was short lived. So actually, it was like, oh yeah.
It was there, and then it was gone. I'll probably bring it back at Atlanta Good Card for anybody who so happens to be in the Milwaukee area. Do not go to Atlanta Good Card. If you're gonna go to a cart meet in Wisconsin, make it
Yeah,
Wisco cart meet.
yeah, yeah.
But
If you want to hang, come hang. But
if
card
you
meet's
just
where
so happen to be in the Milwaukee area, we're planning our next Atlanta Good Card in May.
totally forgot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there. It just takes a little bit of time to plan these things out with the Game Together host. He's phenomenal. He runs a fantastic game shop out in Milwaukee. but it takes him a while to respond. It takes him a while.
He'll get around to it.
He'll get it.
And because I'm right here, I'll just show up looking at some games and stuff. Be like, hey, cause like I just show up to his place and just like kind of like get the IRL aspect. He's like, oh, I'm so busy, so busy. Like he does have a lot of stuff going on, but it's like give him a poke, just like, hey,
Yep.
Aaron's been emailing you.
Yep. I'll probably poke him again this week because it's very possible Ari might join us. We'll see. It's a maybe, but that's certainly something I don't want to miss out on if I can help it.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get everybody we had last time, and I'm hoping like Arya shows up, and Zebus or Viviana.
Vivi would be great too. Yeah, I mean, honestly, both Vivi and Ari will love being around Denny. Denny is just a positive
I love
energy to be around.
Yeah, Denny. Yeah, he's like almost like the
part of the VA crowd. The
part of like our Wisco crew too is just like he's just like honorary Wisco guy. Like that guy is good shit.
If there are two honorary Wisconsinites, it's him and Simon. Simon's the other honorary Wisconsinite. And it's
Denny's good shit.
We'll not get too ahead of ourselves, but if you wanted to see a top player in action, and I'm not saying this is guaranteed, there's a possibility that Simon might be joining us for Wisco Carp Meet this year. So if you wanted to see some top player action,
I really hope so.
You'll need to go to Wisco Carp Meet. I mean, it's all going to kind of just depend on like his personal situations. We're still kind of just like
I think it's all warming up. So I think the chances of it happening in the near future are much higher.
They are considerably. I mean, this is clearly important. I think his family's starting to realize how important it is to Simon, and as it fizzles up more and more, I think
the reservations make sense because you want to protect
again
your kid. Like
a lot of Mario Kart players,
I totally get it.
It's a bunch of older folks. Again, people in their mid-30s, late 20s. It makes perfect sense. They're like, oh, you're going to send them with a bunch of, like, grown adults? Like
complete strangers? Yeah, but we're not, like, strangers. We just know each other online mostly, but, like, everybody is good shit.
Yeah. I think and
they don't know that, but they're warming up to it. So
It's certainly, like, I mean, seriously, I can see a future where Wisco Kart Meet Finals is, like, I don't know, somebody, like, a group of 4 with extreme talent, like Wamaster, Lucera, Simon, like, Jimbo, a roundup like that. And again, Wisco Kart Meet, we've got somebody that doesn't go to kart events too often, but is a VA Classic. Getting his seal of approval was a big deal for us. Jimbo's there.
Huge.
Jimbo,
yeah. Yeah.
If you guys want,
he's got the Kart 64 car, so it's like, I mean, you pretty much are guaranteed that he needs to show up.
Yeah. Like I said before, if you wanted a diet VA experience, we kind of deliver that, and we are definitely going to this year with like Hattok, Uno, Denny, and Jimbo being there. Like the 4 of them have that like that old VA guard or like pre-COVID like guard of people that are there.
I'm excited. I think it's really happening for us, and I think that the momentum is happening, and 2025 is just it's our year. We're making it happen. Big moves are happening.
We've already had 2 people sign up on Start.gg. That's how we're doing it, just simply because I have to cater to Danny's organization. But again, Danny knows what he's doing, and if you don't believe us, he has hosted Mario Kart 8 tournaments for the largest of like Mario Kart tournaments. Like they had a 96-person tournament at Riptide. He's doing one for Momocon. This guy's a real deal.
Yeah, believe the hype. Believe the hype.
You'll want to be there for that. I mean, I know it's like, oh yeah, you're straying away from like just Mario Kart 64 only community events, but Mario Kart as a whole needs to grow beyond just 64. We need those big events where multiple kart games have final 8s that everybody can get hyped for, I see a future for that, where you have like mixes of games like Double Dash, SMK, 64, and the most recent Mario Kart game sharing the same Final 8 stage together on like a Saturday or a Sunday. I see that future for us. So it's the beginning of the next steps in the right direction. Again, show up to Wisco
Oh
Cart Meet,
yeah.
y'all. And if you
Yep. Come to
want
Wisco.
updates and just more information, we got a Discord server for that madness.
Yep. Yeah.
Check it
Come to
out.
Wisco.
It's right here.
Have a beer. Have some cheese curds and some pancakes. And the pancakes are so good.
Roll a few frames with us. Play some Mario
Yeah.
Kart
Yeah.
64 with us. Play some Mario
Eight.
Kart 8 with us. Join us at the Airbnb.
Yep.
Join our good friend Austin from Sheboygan for some rousing rounds of Beyblade. I mean, we got it all.
Beyblade, dude.
We are
Oh my
we
God,
are
it's
for the
so much
culture.
fun. I cannot wait to play more.
You guys got to be there. I mean, I'm gonna be revving up the advertisement cycle like Brody does. I'm not gonna be able to shut my mouth about this. You guys got to be there.
Yep. Beyblade, dude.
We're gonna put the final four on stream while Mario Kart 8 is running matches on like day one. You don't
Yes.
want to miss out on hype sets when people are running let her rip in like that final four.
Let her rip.
We're gonna put the stage up on there. Good commentary. It's gonna
Yep.
kill.
We're
Awesome.
gonna just start posting Cheeseland, Cheeseland shortcut.
I don't have too much more to say about Wisco Kart Meet. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Nothing that we haven't already reiterated a couple times.
like I've said it before,
Other than please come and hang out with us. It's such a good time.
we are going to make sure that the Mario Kart 64 in-person experience keeps on growing. Last year, got myself into a little bit of financial trouble with this one. I'm not saying that you need to bail me out, but like I think more people are going to show, and the support goes a
I
long
think
way.
it'll be a help. It'll be a help.
It will be. I think this year is going to go a lot better. I have my hopes that I'll be able to go at least even with the budget this year. So, that's all I got to say about Wisco Kart Meets. And frankly, I mean, we're getting to the end of the night. Life has been
Yeah.
chaotic, unpredictable. I've had some rough patches. Hattok already knows, but I'm handling better. I really, these cart meets, if you guys don't believe us, they really give you a new lease on life. I mean, for the two of us, they did. Because
Big time.
if you
Like
are willing to
it's
gather in
incredible.
person, make friends, and make meaningful connections, as I was going through like my depressive stretch in November through like February, Haddock was just like, "Yo, let's hit up some bars, have a good time," and that was
Yep,
the
that
beginning of
Caroline's that jazz bar was a great time just sitting and chatting about
life.
what was upcoming things for us at that point,
We didn't know like just how special the things would be. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of like the road to recovery for me. It was a much needed like change of pace after the malaise that was like August through
I think,
October.
the energy, it ebbs and flows, and you know what, it's coming back in a great way.
It is.
And
If
I think that we're very lucky to have so many special things to look forward to and that we've already experienced.
if there is anything to be taken away from this like the past few series of months, having a friend who knows that you need need a helping hand. Haddock was there when I needed it the most, and he was just like, "Yo,
You
I'll show
deserve
you,
it.
I'll show you a good time." And
Yeah.
he was such an
Yeah.
important piece of why I am back in action. I don't think I'm
Oh
ever
yeah.
going to be the Mario Kart player I'll ever be again in 64. Those days are mostly past. I'm going to ride the hype out in April and then put the game down yet again.
That's right. Those little
because-
rats.
Little rats. Life is just more valuable. There are things more valuable than being good at Mario Kart 64. Having meaningful friendships. For me and Haddock and I, it's like just strolling around the town in Milwaukee. We're already talking about like potentially seeing one of my cousin's bands live in the future. Psychedelic Joey's been
Fuck yeah.
mentioning doing like a 10K or a 5K run in Milwaukee sometime in the summer,
Hell yeah.
and then hanging out right afterwards.
If it's a 5K, I would be able to run. I don't think I can do a 10K, but I've been kind of getting back into some workouts and running and stuff. But I think I could do a 5K. But
We gather for our value in life is like no longer just gathering for cards, and obviously landing good card is an excuse for that. But the things we value in life, if you're gonna make any friendships from a card, do things that have nothing to do with cards. Just gathering for the small things in life. Our experiences are oftentimes just showing good music to each other on a Saturday night, hanging out with the cats, with the Rat Pack.
Rat Pack.
Rat Pack. The Rat Pack is something special. They get the celebrity experience, and they deserve it. They're two of the best cats I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was hanging out with them a lot today.
Mm-hmm. Percy's something special. I mean, I joked around the Rat Pack's going to be the best part of PA Cart Meet, but they are fun. They are fun. They're very, very fun. And they'll eventually be Austrian cats soon enough, but we're going to enjoy them while they're still around.
Yeah.
And frankly, hang out with your card players in non-card like functions. Attic and I are
There's more to life.
It is. It really is. Like, life is not just Mario Kart 64. These friendships will go a long way in the future when life is not going good for yourself. Because I can say that with the fact that I was able to pull myself back together. I've still got a lot of uncertainties going into the rest of this year, but I am refreshed. I've got a meaningful way to approach it, and y'all should feel the same way. I mean, because as I wrap up this podcast episode tonight, everything between the two of us started over ramen and some sake in downtown Milwaukee.
Ramen. I'm always looking for an excuse to go to that place, and I shared it with you and also
Yoshi.
Yoshi. Yeah, just had a great chat, just eating some ramen with him and his wife as they're coming through the Midwest.
I'm a little bit busier than Hattok, but like again, if anybody in the Mario Kart 64 community is traveling around doing some globetrotting and you're in Wisconsin, whether it be Milwaukee or the Northwoods, hit us up. We'll have a good time.
Hit us up. Yeah. We can chill
for as
much or as little as you want.
Have some drinks, If you're up in the Northwoods, I mean, it's a little bit harder and more expensive. I know some good nature hikes.
Yep.
That's all I got to leave off on. I think we're getting to the end of the hour, and yeah, Hattok, thank you so very much for being the very first.
Thank you for having me. This has been a great chat. Like like what we were saying earlier, like this is like kind of just like a normal Glass and Hattok conversation that we have regularly, like whenever we see each other. Like the fact that we just did this on stream, this is just a normal conversation for us.
People are witnessing just a small fragment of what we do in person. Like this is just barely 1% of like what we are like. Yeah. So again, I couldn't have picked a better special guest. I'm gonna be.
Thank you so much.
I'm certainly gonna be looking for future guest appearances. I've got ideas. I may reach out to people in the future. But yeah, I'm going to keep it contained to the Mario Kart 64 community for now, and then I'll expand as the podcast gets bigger. But yeah, it's episode 3. I don't have too much to say. The next episode is going to be about 2 to 3 weeks from now after Midwest Speed Fest is over. So on behalf of Hattok and myself, thank you everybody for watching episode 3 of the Glass Podcast. We have nothing else to say. We wish you well. Any last words?
Take care.
That's it?
It's been great.
Couldn't sum it up better.
Y'all have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for chatting with us. Thank you for the raid, Abney.
Yeah.
Like, we had a great time.
I just couldn't quite get away with it at the end, but yeah, just sneaking it in at the tail end. And with that all being said, Hattok and I are going to send y'all to another person. We're going to give a raid because the remaining amount is just too selfish for me to just ditch them. We got to share the love. Yeah. So I'm going to find somebody to raid. I'm going to see who's currently live right now.
Ray started streaming.
Yeah, that's right. You know what it is.
He's on. They are on their last, two God times, I think, still.
Ah, yeah. It seems fitting that we share the love with a fellow kart player. I know we could pick Vansky, but Gray is the perfect person for this. So, we're going to send you to Eric. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I wish you all a good night. Give a warm welcome to Gray. We're going to rate the Carter of the Hour right now. And I will see you guys whenever I stream again, probably tomorrow. I'm signing out. Hattok is signing out. And the raid is going to begin right now.